I don't want to get into it.
And ain't nobody gonna stop me.
Front yard both times.
Fucking bath towel boy over here. He's friendly.
Who are you gonna
He's
call?
a ghost. Oh,
He's
that
not-
lady at the fucking job site today.
Oh my god, bro. You had this sick vacuum on her back, you know, there. Just so tight, bro, because she's in this like gray, like almost nurse's outfit, so it kind of, you know,
It was
like
on a job site. She was fully ready. We're about to go to lunch, and we're all just
Yeah.
parked out in front of the job site. And here she comes in after bugging us about fucking getting power. And she has a full backpack with like she looked full Ghostbusters.
Yeah, like
She's just ready to go into the
strapped
bathroom
on,
to
yeah.
start cleaning.
yeah,
Someone
like
destroy the toilet ahead of time? Like, what was she prepping for?
no, it was like a vacuum, bro. Like, you know the backpack type ones. Have you ever seen them? With the fucking handheld hose,
Nice.
just ready. We just
She goes
stand at
walking by. I'm like, "Da-na-na-na-na-na."
Oh, yeah.
Da-na-na-na-na-na. She almost fell. I'm like,
Oh,
we better get out of here. Let her do her thing.
Yeah, it's pretty sick. That made me laugh. Oh, goddamn. Well, Buggy, why don't you lead us off today, huh? With
Oh, okay,
topics, you know, maybe introduction, maybe a little topic, a little something. I know you got something up your sleeve.
Mine's some guns.
Little week off to get the boys back, and here we are. We got the good old Untamed Entertainment OG crew. We got Pistol here.
Hello.
We got Mr. Timbo,
Yo, yo.
and then Mr. bNasty
Nasty is the name.
crushing it up there. So we are back. It's been few weeks since all four of us have been on. And tonight we're going to tackle the supernatural. We're going to get in with Casper, hit up the Ghostbusters, already chat a little bit about them. But, I think we kind of prepped a little too and thinking maybe even some superstitions might fall into that. I know it's not quite directly related, but it would be fun to kind of talk about. I think somebody has some superstitions. So,
Diddy.
So we're going to dive in. We'll get after it. And who wants to kick it off with their just view on supernatural? What does it mean to them? How does it affect them? What have you had an encounter with a ghost or a supernatural power?
Yeah.
Let's hit it. Let's just dive in.
Timbo, lead us off, big dog. What are your story? I know you got a story.
Timbo.
No, see, I don't even have any of my own stories. I've just heard so many stories from family members and friends that kind of make me believe in the supernatural. But I have my family, my aunt and uncle lived out on this reservation land in Bainbridge Island, and they swore up and down, the whole family, that this whole property was haunted. And they had so many different stories that it was just super believable. One of them was kind of like a sleep paralysis thing, which we talked about before, where they just wake up, just feeling something holding them down on their chest, and they'd open their eyes and there's just this black figure like holding them down, and like that scared the shit out of me as a kid. I never wanted to go over there. They had other stories of people just running through the house and nobody's home, but they'd hear just stomping, and cabinets would just start slamming and doors would fly open.
Damn, how old
That
were you
kinda
when they
stuff.
told you these stories, dude?
Fuck, dude, way too young. I know.
It's terrifying.
No, I was like 7 years old.
He's like staying for the night, and he's like 7
Yeah.
and just had his little bedtime milk and cookies. And, hey, let me tell you a little bedtime story here, Timbo.
Yeah.
Yeah, I stayed over there more times than I wanted to. But
Timbo's
it never
a bit
happened when I was
gullible.
there. Yeah, the whole family was in on it.
Yeah,
I got
probably.
hooked up with this little white kid.
Probably.
A little white kid on the res. Crazy horses.
God damn. But you never got to witness any? Like, you were staying over there and shit?
No, I never really felt like anything either. I mean, I was young too. by the time we'd hit bed, I'd forget about it because we were out having so much fun. But then they talk about it outside of the house and be like, oh my God, why do I go over there? This is ridiculous.
You're like, is this teepee's comfortable? They got their shit figured out.
What would you say, like, if you had to define, any of us really, if you had to define like the supernatural, because there's so many different, like, you know, stories and movies made after things, because like, if you know the famous movie The Exorcist, that's based out of where I live, like that was a story built off, or that was a movie built off of a story that took place here where I live. And so you got exorcisms and demons, and you got ghosts, and you have spirits, and you have, like, what does it mean to each of you guys, like the supernatural, like, and maybe you believe in it or not, but like when you first hear it, what hits you?
Yeah,
Afterlife.
See,
That-
yeah, that's it. Goes like, see, afterlife. I go the opposite. I go like werewolf, or maybe like a ghost.
Okay.
Maybe like a ghost. You know.
You were okay.
Well,
Okay.
ghost is like pretty much afterlife, but I think I see what you're saying. Like, you just don't think of it as just like someone who's died and then it turns into like a split dimension type thing.
Yeah.
Good and evil.
Yeah, it's more like I don't know if like vampire falls in there, but like I don't know, like supernatural, maybe like a werewolf or something, like some story, about, I don't know, some dude got bit and then he started get a hairy back, or maybe it's just their uncle, who knows, but
Get a bit.
So
Depends how gullible you are, right?
well, yeah.
So you have to believe in vampires if you believe in werewolves, because Twilight was a massive series, and that was all based on true stories.
Well, I'm Team Jacob, so
Well, shit.
just throwing that out there.
I don't know, because those are supposed to be based on like real things, and how stories get passed down generations and stuff, but they're kind of based off like real-ish type things. I mean, whether, I don't know how real-ish they can be, but I guess
like,
kind of so ghost, right? But I don't know.
So are you a Yeti? Are you a Bigfoot believer? Are you a, like, if you're like going down the werewolf
The
path?
Patterson footage.
Are you? Here's the thing. There's so many like interviews and videos. I'm thinking of this one particular in my head, and I can't remember what it was around. I think like St. Patrick's Day or something, but it was this like town somewhere southeast, and it was like, I swear I saw a leprechaun in the tree. It was like, they're interviewing these people that are like fucking crackheads or just like idiots. I'm like,
Yeah.
Then he scurried off and he ran away, and he's like, I swear he had a pot of gold with him. I'm like, what?
or they're telling the truth, and it's just like, what the fuck? No one's gonna believe you.
Yeah, give me your mushrooms.
Oh, yeah. I'll say the same thing, and I'll one up you.
Bigfoot.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What about its cousin Yeti?
He makes a lot of good coolers.
That is fun.
Oh yes, he does.
Called his
I
eyes.
just- I would think okay, so this is an uneducated comment, but there's only so much of the world we haven't explored, right? And I know a lot of it's in like deep sea.
Buddy. Whew. I want to get started with that.
But I'm just saying, like, if you can have wolves and you can have these animals that are so, werewolf, would you consider that? That's a person that morphs into an animal, right? It's not like what are they called, minotaurs or something, where they're half human, half horse.
Yeah.
Like, this is fully someone that.
Isn't that centaur?
Centaur, thank you. Yeah. But like, I don't know. I find that hard to believe, because
Nerd alert.
I just think nerd alert. The push up the glasses to follow it too.
I was waiting for you to snort.
Yeah. Well, not yet, buddy.
Slap your suspenders back.
Oh yeah.
There you go. Tank top.
They're
Just
breathing
yet
out of your
another
mouth.
point I've proven.
Okay, so supernatural to you is like creatures that live among us.
Yeah.
More like myths, like
Myths or legends or something.
Yeah, myths,
like Loch
legends.
Monster,
Yeah.
Do you believe in mermaids
merman.
or mermans?
I mean, I don't know. See, now we're getting into the fucking deep blue sea, buddy. With
That's
I'm
a
seeing
whole
Aquaman.
different
so
topic.
much, it's so much undiscovered
my
shit.
wife.
But wait, what?
I said, so's my wife on
Wow.
fucking repeat.
Wow.
But it's just a good movie, apparently.
Oh, yeah, that was a good
She
one.
loves Aquaman.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Who knows? We can't go down. Maybe they can't come up.
I would just have to think with werewolves specifically, for them to exist on this world, there would have to be more than just like 100 of them. Like they would just go extinct. So where the fuck are they hiding? Like,
I mean,
The
I don't
Amazon.
know.
Yeah,
don't
maybe they are extinct, man. Maybe what was it? Silver bullets? Is that what kills them?
werewolves in the Amazon.
Amazon.
Far-fetched.
Yeah, in the jungle, we haven't explored yet. There.
The story is now
Fucking
the story,
werewolves in the
now
Amazon.
the story makes no sense.
I know.
That's
In the
debunked. Mandela.
Oh my
I'm just
God.
saying, I'm like, that's like, there's not a whole lot of places on the surface that we haven't explored. So places that we haven't explored, I mean, maybe that's where some of these weird creatures are living.
I mean, maybe they're among us. Maybe they just, I don't know. Maybe they're sneaky or whatever because they know if they go into the full moon, then they get hunted or whatever. I don't know. Maybe they're out
No,
there.
you're wrong.
Who knows?
You're totally wrong. I mean, it's just like it's all just like built up off stories. Someone has a really good story, and then next thing you know, people are running with it and believing in it.
And then
And
one
then
up
next
in
thing you know,
it.
oh yeah, well, he was 8 feet tall. It wasn't 7 foot like that last story. My werewolf must have been a adolescent. Mine was a full blown
was a-
adult.
Yeah, mine is alpha. Yeah, actually. Alpha male werewolf.
So clearly, my experience is more scary.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, and he had spikes. It's back.
there's no cameras, so they just had to believe you.
I mean, maybe you never know. I mean, cameras aren't good at night, so you never know.
Now they are.
Yeah, but not like perfect. Somebody
Yeah,
showed it to you, like,
usually-
I got a werewolf, and it was, anything other than perfect, they'd be like, buddy.
And then you point it out, be like, see, these are the eyes, these are the ears. If you have to ink blot test me and be like, what do you see? Then I don't know if I believe you.
You be.
But then you see these just fakey freaking like paranormal captures like on camera phones and stuff like that. And it's just like, maybe the old footage they were trying to catch something that was actually pretty creepy. And then this day and age, it's just like it's a little too convenient sometimes when you randomly, oh, I'm playing with my dog. Holy shit. There's a werewolf and a ghost talking.
Yeah.
Talking.
Talking to one another. Oh my God.
Incredible footage. How lucky am I?
Yep. Believe
There
that.
is going back to like areas of the world like undiscovered. This is discovered, and this is may have nothing to do with what we're talking about, but I heard the story like a couple years ago, and I just looked it back up. There's an island called North Sentinel Island, and it's this island that
Is that where the Island Boys live?
yeah, that's where they're from. So
They're
this
trying
is
to make it.
They're so this island,
Sorry.
the people have never left, and they've never let anybody come onto the island. So it's estimated that there's only about 50. So this is a bit of a gap, but think about it: 50 to about 400 people on this island who've never left, who've never let foreigners on. Anybody who's tried to like do a National Geographic story and like land on there like has been killed. Like, who knows like the state that they're in, because they've never had, the common amenities that we have today. And who knows what they've like invented on their own, because nobody's been able to be on the island to no.
Wait, is this
Apparently
a,
weapons.
is this
Because
a
they're
made up
werewolves.
story?
No, it's a real thing. Google North Sentinel Island.
What the fuck?
SENTINEL.
This is like the Amish, but
Bro, it's an isolated tribe. They reject all outsiders. Nobody's allowed to come on.
Oh yeah,
So-
they shoot arrows and throw
Yeah.
spears at anybody that tries to come by.
Yeah. There was a report of this guy that actually
we're
landed
not
on the
that
island.
advanced
And
then,
well, exactly.
After Thanksgiving.
But
Maybe
yeah,
they got
the
a
resources.
way of making those arrows.
Oh yeah, it didn't work. You get a blanket and it's over.
But just think, what else could be living on that island? You never know. Like, how have they evolved? How have they?
Werewolves.
Yeah, that's where all the werewolves are.
They're
Yeah, what kind of
protected.
what little hell are they living in? Like,
But they don't
there's only-
know.
There's so few of them because it's just a different type of little world they're living in. Every Halloween, they're like, shit.
They
We
don't
gotta
know
fight
what
these
Halloween
werewolves
is.
again. Well, I know, but
Yeah,
they got sundials. I mean, I've heard.
yeah,
I've heard.
You know,
I've heard.
no calendars.
Yeah,
not
my
the
second
Mayans.
cousin lives on North Sentinel Island.
Oh, yeah, he's part of the 50 to 400 people.
Yeah, this is a hidden, forbidden
Go on.
island.
You're flowing, bro. You want me to throw you a beat?
Oh, yeah.
Shit, he got bars.
Please
Oh,
do.
damn!
Oh, they call this island is hidden. Some call it forbidden.
Oh man, don't be quitting. Go on.
Oh, shit. You know, they still be sick.
Indian style, preferably.
Whoa. Yeah, that's where they're at. So,
Here in India?
it says, I don't know. It just says is an Indian territory. So maybe, yeah. I don't know. I'm just glancing over some things. So
Isn't it weird that there are like civilizations that we know about that they don't know about us, but we go to visit them to try and, you hear the stories about like people going for religious purposes and trying to teach them Christianity or something and live amongst them for a while. And then next thing you know, they're sick of them. They kill them and eat them.
cannibals.
You guys gotta look at what I just posted in the live chat real quick. I guess my internet briefly went down. So like you guys all froze, but I was still moving on my screen.
Oh damn! This fucking big chillin'. Damn.
Are we throwing bars? Are we throwing a beat?
Yeah.
Uh, I could tell what Pistol's reliving.
Yeah. So wait, so
Well,
people
Sorry,
can't go
didn't
on this
mean to
island, right? No, you're good. But people can't go on this island, but they allowed like Christians. Is that what you're saying?
No, I think anybody who's tried to, they killed.
What?
Yeah,
Nobody brings
fucking
guns.
eat a guy.
Nothing.
And I think like in that area or wherever, I think where was it like in like near like the Indian Malay Peninsula, like I'm sure there's government restrictions from trying to overthrow these people or something. I don't know, but like they're not a lot of people. If you really wanted to take them over, you could.
Oh, I'm sure.
But you also don't know what diseases you'd be exposed to or what they would be exposed to by going there because they haven't been exposed to a lot of the stuff that, people of, industrialized civilizations have been through. So there's probably like a risk there. Like, hey, if we try to get these people help, we could actually be more harm than good.
Yeah, the common cold could wipe them out.
Yeah, it could destroy them. So,
they're weak.
but yeah, I just thought it was interesting. It makes me curious.
No, I wonder
It
what
just
they.
makes me.
So, I wonder what they think when they see like a plane or something like fly by. They got to be like, "What the fuck?"
Aliens
Just
coming to probe us.
Firing arrows up, and they're like, "Oh, not even close."
You just someone shoots this arrow or throws like a spear and it hits the helicopter, goes tink, just like falls back down, stabs them.
Oh yeah, they panic.
Must improve weapons.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it must freak him out. But that's what I didn't know about any of this. I didn't know this is a thing. Maybe they have werewolves. Maybe they don't.
But I wonder too, if there truly are only 50 to 400 people, talk about like legit, you're all
Incest.
related.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
y'all. So like,
Oh yeah. That goes without saying.
Oh yeah.
They got like four noses.
Yeah.
What's going on over there?
talking to the supernatural, they're all fucking different beings.
Damn. That's your
Oh, lucky
Yeah,
Quasimodo.
but, I
Kevin.
mean,
Lucky
they haven't
Kevin's
been-
got his 18th toe. Perfect.
We're improving. We should be able to take that flying saucer out.
Jesus. Good thing we wear sandals.
Well, we gotta add another notch to the sandal.
Chop down more bamboo, everybody.
Oh yeah, you got 18 wides in there.
What size?
The size is truly the width, not the length. This is how many toes you got.
Their feet just get wider,
It's
looking like a fan.
Ah, Karen has 4
Oh,
boobs. She is improving.
God damn.
Evolution.
Yeah, they might have some weird shit. They might have like the uniboob, you know?
Oh.
the solo down the middle.
This conversation is taking a turn. I should have never brought this up.
I know. They go from super.
Now we're
Is
talking.
that
What are you
considered
talking-
supernatural?
All right, next
Whoa.
week we just talk about the Sentinel Island
Oh my
Well,
god.
and speculate.
What's supernatural about this island is everyone that's gone there just got wiped the fuck out. Because you got fucking Goro over there with 4 arms just whooping their ass.
True Cyclops coming at you. He's
Oh my
like
God.
20 feet tall.
Dude. Seriously,
Uh,
But
you never know.
there is a documentary of like this guy that went missing that went to go visit and try and preach like Christianity or just religion. I'm not sure if it's Christianity, but he went over to try and spread the word of Jesus Christ, and he just went missing, and no one ever heard from him. But there's one picture that they captured, and it could be the internet just fooling me. I believe everything on the internet. I don't care what you guys say.
True.
Internet's true. But there's a picture of a whole tribe, and they're all like, I mean, very, very dark black. And one random white guy that's standing there just rowing a paddle boat with them.
Huh.
And he went missing on that island, and all of a sudden there's a really blurry long distance view. So they almost like are saying that they pretty much just took him in, and probably, I mean, you can
I read about
let your
him.
imagination go.
He's
Yeah.
he's in the sun, blended in or what?
Well, apparently not yet. They must have SPF 100 on deck for him because he never got roasted and burnt black, but he's still white. And he's standing
They
there.
fucking hogtied him and threw him on a rotisserie.
Well, only for one turn because he's still white paddling the boat with them.
Oh my god.
But it's just crazy because like they were known for cannibalism. It's like a tribe that's known for cannibalism.
These guys are for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. This particular tribe is. There's actually a couple little clips of somebody like they're going to interview these people. Like they've had very little human contact, where they have had other human contact outside of their little island and civilization. And one guy was like, I guess, talking to him wrong because they had an interpreter, but he was talking to him wrong. And basically, one of the other, the uncivilized people were threatening him, like, we would kill you and we would eat you. And
Yeah.
that's just
Oh, that's how they know.
How
I was about
they-
to say,
how
how
they
do they
roll.
know? How do they know that they're? And what language do they speak?
Abba abba.
It's one. I didn't
That's
know that
it.
means I kill you, I eat you.
oh hell,
I
you
get-
You know this,
is it then, buddy?
right?
Yeah, that is actually a good. Like, how do you interpret the language of a community that has never left or joined
Yeah.
like any other civilization? They don't
I
have
guess you
Google
just-
there.
You
They don't
just
have
nod.
They have what is it? What is that? Where you can learn another language.
Rosetta Stone.
Yeah, they don't have Rosetta Stone over there.
Oh, yeah.
No, absolutely not. They don't have a 3.5-inch floppy. You can just plug a Rosetta Stone in. Come on.
3.5-inch floppy.
They're still on dial-up over there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Still got fucking bows and arrows.
Well, I mean, they work. Not against an Apache or anything like that, but
A helicopter.
they're working on it.
Apache
They're working on
helicopter,
it.
buddy.
Fuck is Timbo talking from? I just hear his voice, but I see he's not there.
I don't know. It like glitched out for like a second. It gets froze. I don't know. Weird.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
froze, but
You froze.
yeah, I could still see
Well, that ain't
P
good.
and mine froze earlier, and all you guys froze, but I was okay.
Mandela.
I don't know if that.
Everything
I don't know if
everything
that.
reset.
I don't think that applies here.
Well,
We're gonna keep saying it, buddy.
oh yeah, it might be a thing now.
Uh,
You know, but
do you guys feel like aliens are part of the supernatural?
Oh, I think that's kind of tough because
I don't.
Let me Google. What is it? What is?
yeah, that won't lie to you at all.
If you, yeah, the internet's always true.
You should be fine. You got the answer book at
My
www.
Google assistant in the background's talking to me now.
Wikipedia, buddy.
Attributed to some force beyond scientific understanding or the laws of nature. Manifestations or events considered to be of supernatural origin, such as ghosts.
Yeah, but you don't typically think of the supernatural. Well, I guess I don't think of like the supernatural being aliens.
No, me
By
either. I was
by
just
definition, like,
no. I'm more on the spirits and ghosts and
it'd be like paranormal.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree on that. I guess P. I'm curious to see. I guess where we were gonna go with, because we're a little werewolf vampire dabble. Also,
Jacob.
we also didn't go into vampires. So, wow, but
Yeah, you put us on an abandoned island.
There are
yeah,
bats.
Bug was fucking had me researches. Yeah,
Yeah, there are bats, Bug. You can't deny that. That's
yeah,
a
there
fact.
are bats, and who knows if they are truly bats by night and humans by day.
maybe.
Well, I saw a bat today during the day,
They are
so
nocturnal.
Well,
Oh, Timbo,
he
you
was
should have recorded
he just
it.
got off a bender. That's all.
Oh yeah,
Exactly.
He was trying to get home.
Does he fly a little
Just get back to
crooked?
the cave.
He looked crooked
No.
flying home.
he's just up on the wall looking at me. He's probably like, "Shit, this guy's gonna see me turn into a fucking human. Get out of here!"
How does?
Oh,
Yeah,
I never knew this.
Am I
Is how I
getting
tell my
pulled
husband.
over?
Yeah, did he hiss at you?
Yeah, seriously.
This is how my husband's gonna find out.
A little
he's-
succubus.
He was looking at me.
God damn.
That was your wife.
Hello.
Oh, hello, Timbo. Let's probably check on her.
Oh yeah.
Is she out of here?
Yeah, why is she always going to the gas station late at night? She's really just flying around sucking on bugs and people.
In blood.
Hello. Timbo, you should probably
That's true.
check on her.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, fuck is she?
What is she?
She
Is
was going
window
for a
open?
walk.
Oh yeah, walk.
How do you walk a
Fly
marathon
by.
every night, babe?
Yeah.
That's impressive.
Why do you sleep all day? But
How come we never take
anyway,
your car?
so
Anyway. Sorry, go ahead, man. Otherwise, we'll keep going. You better take this one.
So-
ghosts.
So-
Thanks for steering me in the right direction, just in case I caught a little detour.
Tourette's or something? Just naming fucking shit. Ghost, orbs,
Ghosts.
spirits,
Oh, yeah,
werewolves,
ghosts. Go ahead, buddy.
exorcisms.
I
Like
will have
my
you.
GPS was buffering.
Oh yeah. No, where was I at?
It turned right on ghosts.
Oh yeah.
But no, I don't
Yeah.
see. Like, I don't incorporate like all those tall tales with like the spiritual aspect of things. It's weird because some people might like connect those two, and I can see why they would, but I think they're very different. And for the longest time, and it was weird because I'm not religious, and for the longest time didn't really believe in a higher power and all this, but at the same time I believed in the evil side of it. And I was always very nervous about the evil side of it. So I believed in like not necessarily ghosts, but like evil spirits and evil presences, but I didn't fully believe in the opposite side. So if you're like a paranormal investigator or someone who's fully into this, you'd be like, oh my God, you were such a target. Like it'd be easy to take you over and possess you. Well, it never happened, but
Yeah, your
That we know
EMT
of.
meter or whatever.
I mean, look at me. Am I possessed? No.
Yeah, bro. I've seen you do some weird flexible positions. The pretzel, you might be.
Oh yeah, like Stranger Things. Spoiler alert. Vecna.
Oh, yeah.
Also based on a true story.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, bro. I've seen it. Weirded me out.
Yeah, I mean, I can bend
Fingers.
in all sorts of directions. Shit, they call them dingers, buddy. Those are my toes. Do weird things with my toes. But yeah, so for the longest time, I believed in like the opposite side of it. I guess I was just more worried about it, but didn't have any opposite beliefs, like any armor against if that was going to happen to me. I just believed that existed. Just, I guess it's probably just being scared of it. I've heard stories from, parents, people have had some weird things happen to me that I couldn't explain. I do have one story though.
I was gonna say, can you give us a story?
So here's a story of where it was kind of a weird experience.
Real quick, you do know that Phasmophobia is just a game, right?
Yes, but
Okay, just
Oh
making
my
sure.
god,
Go on.
bro.
it felt real. Okay, so buckle in.
That game.
So I was going through a kind of a hard time in my life, and I was working out of town, and in this particular time, I had a lot of drive time. So I was going through shit, and I was driving up to my job site, which was like 2 hours away. And as I was pulling up to my job site, I was just, kind of beat, defeated, and just didn't quite know what like to think. And for whatever reason, like I mentioned earlier, I was not a huge believer in the religious side, Jesus Christ, all of that. It just wasn't a part of my upbringing. So it all kind of seemed a little far fetched to me. So as I was pulling up to this job site, like I was just, I was crying on the way there just from what I was going through. And I just had a random feeling to pray. And so I did, just out of nowhere. And I don't pray. I don't say my goodnight prayers or anything, but I just decided to pray this one time. And I just had my whole spiel, basically just venting out loud. And I ended it with like well, I don't really know how to do this, so I guess I'll just say, in the name of Jesus Christ, amen. And I ended it. And I pulled up to this job site, which is just someone's house. It was like a big mansion in Jackson Hole, Wyoming. And I walked in, and the first thing I smelled was just like a nasty smell. And the homeowner, well, not as bad, but pretty bad. But the homeowner wasn't there. It was just their maid, whoever, the housekeeper, whatever.
Wasn't doing a good job, apparently.
Yeah, well, I mean, you'd think that. But house was spick and span. And she was walking me around where she wanted her TVs set up. And when we walked into the living room, nothing. We walked around to the bedrooms, nothing. But as soon as you walk in the front door, you hang a left, and there's like a library that you had to walk through to get to the master bedroom. And we came back around and walked through the library, and boom, there's the smell again. So bad. Like it was like meat that was just freaking rotten. And then they had like double sliding doors. Like, so from the front, you could slide it shut. From the master bedroom, you could slide it shut. And I was in the master bedroom, just hooking up her TV and whatnot. And I just had just this awful feeling. So I kept looking over at my shoulder at the little library section, and just had a weird feeling about it. And every time I walked through, it smelled bad, smelled bad. So when I was about done with the job, I walked back to go meet her, and all the freaking like the entertainment center was open. All the little drawers underneath the books were open. And I was just like, I've heard this lady, because it was just me and her in the house the whole time. And she's been in the living room and basically steered clear from me the whole time. And I was just so freaked out. Like, what the hell is that? And I finally walked through it. And then I went and got her and had her come back with me to the master bedroom. And then when I walked back through that library, everything was still open, but the smell was just gone. Like completely gone. And
Weird.
it was so weird. And I was walking her through how to work the remote and everything. And then we walked back through, everything was still open, but the smell was just gone. So I'd always like kind of wondered like what the hell was that, because it was just it was a very different feeling. And I had like talked myself into like, well, maybe that's like the one random reason why I decided to pray, is to have protection in that moment. Because I mean, some Jackson homes they're kind of older, so it was like maybe that one was what was helping me through that moment. But that's like the only time that I've really had like a weird supernatural feeling. Maybe it's just me trying to justify something. Maybe she farted a few times and crop dusted me throughout. I don't know, but it was just very weird, because I'm like, who the hell would just fart while I'm following her?
That's why she opened all this. That's why she opened everything up. She wanted to make you think it was a supernatural event.
That was the last ditch effort. She's like, fuck, I farted like 12 times. I don't know why I keep coming back to this little study. She keep farting.
Taco Bell, it'd be different today.
Yeah, bro. She's probably opened them up and wafting it, trying to get it out of the room and left it open.
She's trying to trap all the farts in each thing.
But it was just so weird to me. And then I left, like I remember walking out of that house and just standing there for a second before I got into my work vehicle and just been like what the hell just happened? This lady crop dusted me 12 to 13 times. Like what a disrespectful.
Should have pink eye right now.
12 to 13.
Yeah. Should I get a hotel? Am I good to drive? I don't know. Like, what's going on? Should I pray again? What the fuck's going on?
Should I advise her to see a doctor?
Should I tattle on her and call the homeowners? Like,
like how bad was the smell though, for real?
Oh, it was bad. Like it was bad.
Like did it smell like a fart, or did it smell like a dead person or like rotten meat?
It was like rotten meat, bad smell. Like to the point where I walked in and I was confused why she didn't fucking own up.
It was that bad. You gotta just say, "Hey, listen."
She left her own brand. Like, what's going on? But it was bad.
Oh yeah, open a window, lady.
Yeah, seriously, good lord, not fucking doors and cupboards and shit. Open a window. You don't know how airflow works? What's going on?
Just viciously looking for that Lysol. Just opening all the cupboards and shit. Where the fuck is it?
Yeah, she's telling such an opposite story now. She's like, "Oh, this guy came to install TV and he just fucking shit 12 to 13 times." Like, what's going on? He shit his pants. I was praying for it to leave, and he just wouldn't leave.
He wouldn't
She
leave.
could always blame it on the dog that they don't have.
I tried to barricade him, but none of the drawers were long enough.
Right.
I saw him praying in his car. I saw him praying in the car, so I just opened everything up.
Yeah, we got very different stories. That's supernatural. I don't care what you say.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Come here. Let me teach you how to use this remote, man. No.
Oh, yeah.
Here, while my eyes burn.
Maybe he'll bang his shin on this drawer.
Oh yeah, just a minute. I gotta close all these drawers.
Did she say anything about all the open shit? Did she say anything? Like,
no, and that was what was. I mean, she's a maid or like a housekeeper or something, but she was cleaning the entire time. And for her just to walk through there,
wasn't just cleaning, buddy.
She's probably embarrassed. Like, oh, he's judging me. I haven't cleaned this room yet.
Yeah.
Like, I left all these drawers open, but I could see through there the entire time. the master bedroom, it wasn't like I was around a corner. Like I could see through that little library area to the front door, and I didn't see a spot like that she ever came through.
Right,
I mean, she might be sneaky, sir, but I doubt it.
She was all about the SBD, the silent but deadly toots.
Oh yeah, I mean, she
maybe.
pre-gamed then.
Yeah, she might have busted open the door.
Question is,
was
how
it
would
old
it go-
house? Like creaky?
when you have something that smelly, it doesn't just go away that fast. Like
Yeah,
If-
that's what I'm saying.
that's the other thing is like you're gonna have something that's gonna linger a bit. If you have rancid meat smell, it ain't
Mhm.
going away with a little Febreze in the air. Like that shit's gonna sting the nostrils for a little bit.
Yeah, well, unless you air it out. Apparently, I don't know. I'm so confused now.
Yeah.
But
is-
it was that quick. It was like taking her through because I was like kind of wanting her to be like, "Hey, you need to clean. Like, what's going on in here? You missed a room." But then we
There's
went
no
through.
dust, but
We walked
cloud
through
of
the
smoke
first.
in here.
Oh yeah, it's like green smoke too. Like we walked through and it smelled terrible, and then we walked back, smelled terrible. I went through by myself a few times, and then the final little walked through, came back, nothing, no smell whatsoever. So that was what was weird to me, is because she didn't smell it. She's probably embarrassed.
Probably
My
does it, buddy.
story's fucking. My story's falling apart.
You could have someone just has a terrible sniffer.
debunked.
There are
Yeah.
people that just like you have bad hearing or bad vision. Like, I'm sure there's plenty of people. Like, I don't have the best sense of smell. Like, I would fucking smell rancid meat. Don't get me wrong, but like my wife, compared to my wife, like she's like, "Oh, do you smell that?" It's like be something super subtle. It's like, "No, I don't smell anything," or something. It's like, "Oh man." But I don't really know what
Never
that
own
meant
up.
there. But oh, I see what you did there.
Yeah.
But maybe
She's
she just
wrong.
had like maybe her fucking sniffer got just fried one day and like now she doesn't smell anything.
Well, unless this lady had the first case of COVID like 10 years ago, there's no way that she didn't smell that.
Maybe
Or-
she's patient zero. Who knows?
It could be, but
Right.
I mean, smelly and opened up all the cupboards. Like I even had I was so nervous about it one time because it was like starting to freak me out that I remember taking my flip phone at the time and like trying to catch a video as I walked through there because it was just freaking me out to walk through there. And it
So
was just
like a
such
weird feeling then?
yeah, like everything about it was just creeping me out.
See,
And
that's
it
where
was
I'm like, the feeling is weird. I mean, you could be like, hey, this is kind of weird, but like, I don't know. I used to work, DirecTV too. You go into some fucking weird houses and some hoarders
Yeah.
and some weird shit. So shit's not like, new to you going in some weird house or some weird smells and stuff. So the fact that he's like weirded out is a little weird.
But the houses that you go to in Jackson, they're always clean.
Yeah, they have
Like
They're
the big ass
fucking-
houses.
yeah. This is their vacation home.
Oh yeah. So the fact that just
Their
like
maid lives in there, by the way. Most of the time, they just
Oh,
live
yeah.
there to clean it.
apparently she's just cooking beans because she's farting her ass off in the library.
Oh yeah,
But it was just that feeling, just
Playing
an
Clue.
awkward feeling of oh, yeah, like there wasn't.
Miss Scarlet.
Oh yeah,
the beans
Miss
in the in the
Miss
laboratory.
Scarlet with the frijoles.
Oh yeah, with the frijoles in the fucking study.
Oh yeah, I probably got out of there just in time. She's plotting.
Oh, well, she did. She's plotting.
Yeah, that's it. I know that got a little out of hand. My
Well.
story was terrible, but and
I think it was a great story.
That is
nothing,
pretty
okay.
good.
Yeah, there's nothing sexy about it. I didn't see a ghost or anything.
If
But
anybody in Wyoming listening, that has experienced intense smells in their mansion with a library leading to their bedroom, please comment.
yeah, or
So-
reschedule your appointment because they don't want to smell it.
Shit in your pants. Oh, Pete, what?
Put the
alright,
burrito down.
where? If you had to base it, percentage wise, what would you say percentage wise it was a ghost compared to her shit in her panties?
Oh man, I mean, Probably 90%.
Really? It's pretty high.
I'll give 10% that she. No, I won't even give 10 because it was the second I walked in. Like I said, unless she pre-gamed and happened to be reading a book in the library to the left, but she's like, "Oh, I've been waiting for this guy." Oops. And then just met me at the door.
Lit it up.
Yeah, that's not a room that she's just hanging out in. So
Hell
my other
no.
question is, so you said you smelt
She
it when
would've
you first
trailed
walked
it.
in.
Mm-hmm.
She showed you the room, then you guys walked back out, right?
Yeah.
It was still as intense, and I know that's not that long of a time, but still as intense as ever.
Yeah.
But then all of a sudden it's just gone. Like,
yeah, at the end. Like at the
so
end
how
of it was
long? How long do you think it took you?
gone. That one was probably like a total of an hour.
And there's no
And
like
there was-
bathroom
It's-
door open, nothing.
No,
It just seems like that's even an hour, and if it's that intense, like that intense, I feel like you'd still have a hint of something when you left.
So kind of breaking down a timeline. That was. Let me give you kind of a layout of that property exactly. So like I said, right when you turn left, there's just an instant door that was in
The
this
study.
room. The fucking
call it.
stinky.
We'll
We
call
went
it.
from the stinky to the master bedroom,
To the
and
billiard
then the
room.
master bedroom with the fucking candlestick.
Yeah.
The master bedroom had a master bath, right?
Oh,
Connected to
see.
the back of it. So there wasn't any link around the house. If you hung a left, you hit a dead end eventually. And if you went straight, it went into a big great room, like giant vaulted ceilings that was going above the second story. And you hung a right, you would eventually go up the stairs, which I had a room I was hooking up in the great room, in the master bedroom, past the stinky, and upstairs into a guest bedroom. So I had to make multiple trips, like up and down. And every time I went past the old fucking study with the candlestick in it, it was bad. Like it stunk to a different level stink though. Like you would think that would linger out into the halls.
Yeah, it would
into
like
the-
Oh, for
dissipate.
sure.
It would dissipate. It was a fart, maybe 15 minutes tops.
Mm.
It would leak into the bedroom for sure.
Yeah, especially
yeah.
if she's dusting you.
Oh, that fucking
Well, and
woman.
as you walk through that study
pillow
into the bedroom, some of your movement would bring some of that in there.
Oh yeah, or get on my clothes or something. But no, it was every time I walked through, and it was weird to me because, like I said, I was going through a rough time, so I had that random praying moment, and so it just got my wheels turning thinking about it, and enough time for me to think that this is off, and so I had to go back into the room, and every time I had to go back in the room, it was almost just like a shit. I got to go back in this room. I got to build this courage for a second. Speed walk like I'm in the Olympics through the study. And it was only the last time, because like I said, I'd made a few trips, and the one time I tried to record while I was going through, just because it piqued my interest that much and kind of freaked me out.
That's
Didn't
crazy.
really capture shit.
Well,
But the very last time was just like I'm at her entertainment center at the foot of her bed, hooking shit up, and I was keeping an eye back towards, that fucking McStinky place, and wouldn't see anything. But then I noticed like the drawers pulled out, so it freaked me out, and I had to go back through there to go get her, to go bring her back to show her what was going on. And phew, smell gone.
it's weird that. So ghosts have a smell.
I don't think ghosts have a smell. I think freaking that's where I cross it to like freaking demon type of stuff have a smell. Like
Ghosts. Demons.
Like that was supposed to inflict fear and
mhm.
whatnot in you. Like not only the event of cabinets and drawers opening, but the environment was supposed to make you feel uncomfortable and scared
Yeah.
by
And
gassing
seeing
you
it
out.
did though. It did. It eventually got me to the point where I was kind of spooked out about it. And that's the only thing that, like, I never have that feeling of why something happened, but I left that experience like protected because I did what I did in that moment. And
Hmm.
I've always said that's like the only time that I've really kind of believed in something that protected me. Like, yeah, I know you haven't, been going to church lately. You skipped a few for like 25 years or something, but
Yeah.
just like I randomly decided to pray, and then all of a sudden, boom, like something terrible could have happened to me if that moment didn't happen. And I left that experience. It didn't change me. Like, I don't go to church anymore. I don't pray. Maybe I should. Maybe that was like a get out of jail free card, but I don't know. I just know that that was like the one time that I felt something else was going on.
It's weird that it, before you went there, you had a feeling to pray, which is, odd.
Weird.
And then, yeah, the smell and just the whole feeling, because, like I said, we've been in some weird fucking houses and places, and like you just get used to it after a while. You're just like, man, you're fucking
Mhm.
disgusting human being, but carry on, I guess.
Yeah.
And
And out of all the houses, a nice, pristine Jackson Hole, Wyoming house
yeah,
was just the one that, for whatever
yeah,
reason I was going through what I was going through, was defeated and needed to reach out. And
that's
then
weird.
that to happen, like, I've actually kind of thought of like going, because I can pinpoint exactly where that house is. I'll never forget where it's at, unless they tore it down. Then we're all fucked because those demons are loose.
Maybe. Fuck, bro.
I gotta say, you can turn that corner, you better pray.
Yeah. Well,
But
dude,
that's the only time that I've ever felt like that.
that's weird. So, did you like, I don't know, believe? Because you said like I believed in the bad, but not the good. Did you believe in the good after that? Because that kind of where it went.
Um, I mean, it didn't influence me to pursue going to church and all that. Like I said, I might have used up my get out of jail free card. Um, I just felt, I guess, kind of thankful. Like, kind of immediately, I felt like, okay, this was weird, and then a couple weeks prior, I was like, this is probably why this happened. So thank you, but going forward, I still believe in the demonic side and the shitty paranormal side, but I do have a belief that there's something to counter that.
Right.
And it's not necessarily tied to how hard you pray or your religious stance with, you know, Jesus Christ or whatnot, because
Well,
if my story is the way it is, then he helped me out even though I don't believe. And maybe that's just because of the way I've lived my life, and morally, like, he knows I have my free will and I haven't done anything terrible. So you know what? You're about to get possessed, pal. Here, you can
well,
go.
I
You can
mean,
get out of it. Sorry about the smell.
well,
Can't really stop that. That's Lucia. She ate some frijoles earlier.
okay, she's dusting it. But see, see, I don't know. I got a different view on that with like, religion and all that. And like for me, I don't feel like you have to go to church or anything to like be, a man of God or like holy or whatever. Even believe in any of that. I mean, personally, I believe a lot of them are full of it.
Mm-hmm.
And they just maybe at one point they were good, and then somewhere along the way they got fucking rapey and touching little boys, and
Good Lord.
not gonna mention any names, but it's pretty well known out there. But yeah, so I don't know. I'm a little on that side where I'm like, nah, if you're a good person, or even if not, dude. I mean, maybe that's just your moment to sway or whatever, but I kind of believe, good, bad. I don't know if I've had too many like paranormal or whatever things like ghost wise or anything like that, but
Erna,
Erna, girl.
careful, Erna will get you.
I don't know. I mean, who knows? Maybe I'm been in weird situations and just not known or whatever. Because I've felt some weird shit, but sometimes, I'm in my head or not in a great place mentally, and I'm like, well, fuck,
Your
Who
headset's
knows?
kind of glowing right now.
Well,
Maybe you're protected.
shit, bro. I'm powerful. No, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. All this stuff to me is fucking. Where's some wood to knock on? But
I got you, buddy.
buddy. but
It's like a Jenga piece, but we'll be all right.
When people tell these ghost stories, like I've heard some, but I've never like been around it or kind of seen it. I've never seen any werewolves, stuff like that, and who knows? I mean, I'm sure that's a big part of the population, but so for me, I mean, they're not like big myths or anything, but they're just a little more like, yeah, there's a good possibility, but I've never witnessed or seen it or been around it, so it's kind of like,
Which is kind of human nature, though. Like you don't experience how it is living in, downtown New York. You hear stories of all this stuff, but you never grew up that way. So it's only in TV shows and stuff you hear, like how actually violent that type of stuff is. So
true.
I mean, it just kind of goes up on how you were brought up. But I
True.
mean, like, it might take that one experience to change your mind. That one experience, I mean, mildly happened to me, and I took it that way, but it didn't change my life.
Yeah.
I have a story to tell, and I don't go back and think about that. I mean, maybe that'll change if shit happens again. All of a sudden, I'm just like, good Lord, Lucia, quit farting everywhere.
Yeah, stop it.
Aren't you retired? What's
Yeah.
going on?
Put away the reprides. Come on.
You're not a very good cleaner.
Yeah, clean your undies.
Ever heard of Febreze, my lady?
Yeah, come on, but no, you're right, dude. I hear you on that. And see that's kind of weird for me. It's like I've never been like super duper religious and stuff, but like I guess more lately or anything. But when I talk to people and stuff, they'll be like, oh well, this is and I'll preach a little bit or kind of tell them some mentalities or just, look out for people. And some people say, oh, well, you're a man of God or you're of, I don't know, like he's working through you or teaching you or, teaching people. Who knows, right? People say a lot of different shit, which may be true, maybe not. But see, I'm just like, oh, to me, it doesn't really, I don't know if it means that. I'm just like doing my thing and like,
But you have a moral compass.
yeah.
Like, and as long as that doesn't go into crazy thoughts and then crazy actions, like you're doing the right thing.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not doing the shit. You do something and you feel bad about it. And there's a reason you feel bad about it.
Yeah.
So you know right from wrong. Like you're not gonna go and fucking rob a store and slap an old lady on the way out. You just know that's wrong.
Be a weird Sunday.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
exactly.
she's old. You gotta slap her, but Robin's store's fine.
Exactly. But somebody that just went and did that, they'd be like, well, I prayed the whole way. And next thing you know, I'm robbing a drugstore and I slapped an old lady and took her purse. I don't know what took over. Like,
Yeah,
but
got possessed.
just because they prayed, like they could, devote themselves to something and do terrible shit when you don't devote yourself to something, but you don't do terrible shit. Like, it's wrong.
See, that's always a thing, that I think about sometimes, right? So, there's one person in my life who, wants to be real religious and all this and, try to right their wrongs by, praying or going to church or whatever, but they do a lot of fucked up shit. But then they justify that. To me, I'm like, come on.
To me that's complaining that you haven't lost weight and gotten like insanely jacked because you work out 6 days a week, but then you eat like fucking shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
it's a lifestyle.
You got to put the equation. You got to put the equation together for the equal sign to mean what you want it to mean.
Yeah, no, I got you. But in their mind, though, I'm like, are they like morally fucked up, or do they really not know, or do they really think like, oh well, I can do this, and then I can just do it,
go to confession,
and then just do it and be like, that's fine,
Maybe the super religious are super morally fucked up, so they feel like they need a lot more forgiveness.
Maybe.
I mean, what do you think, Timbo? Feels like you got something to weigh in on this. What you been doing? Slapping old ladies on the way out of the store?
This old lady came to my door earlier. I had to slap her.
I was wondering why you had so many purses on your coat rack back
there. Get back out there, vampire.
He turns around. Put those away. He turns around. He's like, oh, I didn't hide those. Damn it.
I thought I put those under the bed.
Good for you, man. I mean, just repent. You'll be fine.
Yeah. Tell us how you feel.
Tim was like, that's next month's mortgage right there.
All of those are from this week. I'll just go to church and ask for forgiveness.
Man, the back of your hand must be tired. That's like 12 drugstores a night. What are you doing?
Oh, you're slapping everybody.
It's an old community
fucking
here.
Rick James and everybody. God damn.
Good for you, man.
Yeah, what we gotta do.
What do you think, Timbo? What do you think? Do you think it's, do you think their moral compass is fucked up, or is it right and they just say, meh, I can just repent and it's fine, or I can, go to confession or whatever. Hail Marys are going to save me.
Yeah, maybe not all of them, but probably a good majority have got a lot of shit that they feel like they need to go repent for or ask for forgiveness because they don't live that good moral life. And I don't know. I know I grew up in a family that was pretty religious, so I feel like I was around a lot of good people, but they could have been fucking shitheads all week long and then showed up to church and acted like they were saints and sang the songs and praised and whatever. But yeah, I don't know. I don't spend a whole lot of time thinking about it, but that is kind of why. I mean, I'm not religious now. I don't go to church. Kind of thought the same thing once I got a little older of like, oh, I could just do whatever I want and then ask for forgiveness and it's all good. Like that doesn't make any sense.
So is your immediate family really religious? I guess both you and your wife.
No.
Okay. So
neither of us are. She didn't really grow up religious, but my parents, my dad's side of the family was really religious growing up, and so it was church every Sunday and Bible camp and all that stuff growing up. But even then, when I was going, it still didn't make a whole lot of sense to me. Felt like too many loopholes.
Yeah.
The weird thing is,
oh, go ahead.
Oh.
So my side of the family, not religious. My wife's side, very religious. So raising a daughter together is you get the different little someone trying to pull the strings and be like, oh, well, does she want to come to church with me? When we're just like, my wife's not religious, by the way. Like her family is, but my wife isn't. So we're trying to raise a kid with good moral values, and she's an angel. She's a great girl. But you get someone trying to tug the strings some other direction, only one direction, your favorite band, Brad. But it's just like, pull it your way.
Who told?
And I know you're
that tattoo on your back, dude.
Yeah, exactly.
Who told you?
Little
It's
tramp
just,
stamp.
it's that one-way tattoo on your back, little road sign.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
But
Next to my flower.
next to your bullseye.
Oh yeah. Might as well be one. All right, go on, man. Enough about me.
Little dad jokes going in here. But it's just kind of weird to raise a kid like that when you can tell like when influence is trying to take over, because her mom will guilt trip, or my wife. I'm sorry, I'm exposing people here, but my wife's parents will try and expose one aspect of something that they feel like we should be doing and make us feel kind of guilty for it. And
Which
then,
I think's fucked, by the way. Let them know.
but it's not necessarily like I don't want to bottle that into like religion, but I think that kind of builds up to what religion teaches, like family is important, all that stuff, which I mean those are great messages, and I don't disagree with that whatsoever. And so I can see what they're saying and where they're coming from, but when it kind of like try to changes the way that we parent, that's where I feel like you're kind of stepping on toes. I'll listen and I'll kind of acknowledge, but don't make me feel terrible for it.
Yeah.
Like you raised me a certain way. My parents raised me a certain way. Like we had it figured out. Just because you figured it out your way and you feel like this is your way, that's not the way.
It's not Yahweh.
Yeah. Again, it's
Way.
not a one way like Brad's tat.
Exit only, buddy. Now,
Oh yeah, right. Doing
God
an
damn
enter.
it.
Enter here.
Oh, hello. Nah, I hear you though. My kind of thought on that is like, not everyone, obviously, but it's more. I think it's more prevalent where we live than other places that I've lived, and it's almost like a tainted view of people. If they don't believe in the same thing, or they think that they need to like, oh well, I'm almost better than you, and if you don't think this way, then it's like it's almost like a prejudgment, like, which I never like, and I never think it's okay, because it takes away from like seeing the actual good in people, I feel like. And then once people would find out like, oh well, I don't go to church, or I don't do this, and then they're like, oh, you don't.
Discarded.
Yeah, and then everything about you is just kind of tainted at that point, and that's one of my main complaints about religion, and more than one, but one
Come on down to the
definitely
Bible
in
Belt, buddy.
particular.
Thump this Bible
Come up
with me.
to the fucking Mormon Belt, buddy.
Not a fan.
Oh, yeah,
I'll
Excuse me.
I want to go back. I want to go back to one thing that Timbo said when he was talking about it, and when it comes to people I can kind of do what I want, and as long as I say I'm sorry, like all is good. I think that the church can be good. I will preface this by I went to
100%.
Catholic grade school, Catholic high school. Got into college, and I just kind of started finally having my own views and my own thoughts. And I believe in like some sort of higher power, right? There's something going on, right? Mix it with science, mix it with something else going on. But I haven't gone to church in forever. And my whole thing is intention, right? If you make a mistake, but your intentions were in a different direction, you thought you were doing something okay, or you kind of got off track a little bit, but like, I think that's okay to go ask for forgiveness, right? Even just like take religion out of it. If I wrong any one of you three, didn't do it intentionally, but then I realized that I kind of fucked up or did something or said something that wasn't right. Yeah, I'm gonna right my wrongs and try my best to like make sure all is good. I had I forget when it started. I feel like it was in like high school or college, but for Lent, my dad decided to go to church every day for 40 days. 6:30 mass before he'd go to work Monday through Friday, and then go on Saturday and Sunday. And he was like, I just want to like, and I thought, I was like, wow, that is crazy. And he actually kept that up for years and years after. And the difference with my dad is he used church to clear his mind, to start his day off on the right foot, to feel like he's kind of like almost meditating. Like he would do his prayers, he would go along with the whole thing, but it was to kind of set his mind in the right direction. Like he was in sales. Like, I'm going to deal with some shitty people. Keep your cool. I'm going to deal with my kids when I get home. Keep your cool. Like, just a way to kind of like set your framework. And some people do that in other ways. They read a book,
right?
Yeah, they read a book, or they meditate, or they do whatever. His outlet was just, it was a calm, peaceful place that he did that. And my mom actually joined him for a while and did it for a very long time. But you know, I know my mom wishes I was probably still a little bit more involved with the church, even though I don't live like in the same parish she does. And my kids too. Like you said, P, I want them to make their own decisions. And they're too young to do that right now. Anytime they're interested in it, I'll talk about it. But I kind of want them to be able to make their own decisions and know that. And I think we've talked this on other podcasts, like the Bible and all that. I take it, you can't take it for like factual in my mind. Like a lot of those stories are representing metaphor. Something. They're trying to teach you a lesson by giving you a story that probably didn't take place, but it's like, you know, this happened. What was the outcome? What did you learn from it? Right. And that's kind of my view of like, I could go to church. I'd have no problem, like kind of just taking it as a peaceful, 45 minutes of my day. But I'm going to find that somewhere else. And I think that, the people that take the Bible for what it is worth, they haven't read the Bible. There's some like fucked up shit in the Bible, if you don't know, like stuff about, just some fucked up shit. And it's just like, you want to make the Bible part of like what's taught in every school and like is what we've laid our foundation on. And it's like, have you read the Bible? Have you read the Bible? Like, come on.
I feel like that should be a decision based, like when a mind is actually old enough to kind of
100%
take it in for what it is. Like
25.
I don't think it should be influenced from, in your developing stages as an infant, toddler going on. Like, I know you're excited about it, but like you can't just program. And that's the word I'm going to use.
Here's the thing with that.
It's a good word, man.
Here's the thing with that I love that because so the one side of it is, should you be exposed to certain things is where I go. Like, okay, you're going to learn math, science, English, history, all this. Could you have a religion class? Sure. But I think that I remember back, like, so 8th grade is when you make your confirmation. And if you guys don't know what that means, or any of the listeners don't know what it means, when you're in 8th grade, confirmation is one of the sacraments that you get. And what it is you're confirming that you want to be a Catholic, you want to be Christian, you want to continue your faith, right? It's you making the decision. Dude, when I was 13, 14 years old, I didn't fucking know what I wanted. I just spent my almost entire life
in the bathroom jerking off.
Okay.
Yeah, Dix, we can just cut that, edit that out.
Yeah, we'll just cut that out. What I was
sorry, go on.
Is I was told that if I don't go to church, if I don't do this, I was a bad person. It's like, fuck.
Yeah,
like
that's what I'm saying. Is you
it's like
almost got like
you. Not ingrained.
I can't get your fucking comment out of my head now.
I know, it's a good one.
But P, go on. P on. Get us back on track.
All right. Well, first off, you're thinking about all the times you were doing that, so. But
first of all, I went to all boys high school, so that was not happening.
Well, I mean, we'll talk later, buddy. Okay.
Yeah. All right. I'll tell you about my tattoo.
Oh, boy, George.
But it's just like there's something wrong about an almost like predetermined path for you. And I kind of get like that's your whole family, like that's what they've been believing in, so they're going to raise you the way that they feel is best to raise you. But to predetermine someone on a path is basically just like you're notching out a path for them to go along life. And if you divert from this path, then you are an odd, or it's going against what you're saying. And you're going to defy your parents who have been your guidance your whole life. So to do that would just be like, no way. I mean, I see how happy my parents are. I see the life they lead. So why would I to go away from that? But we eliminate choice so quick when it comes to that. Like you can say there's really a choice, but it's like, okay, you have a choice to do this, you have a choice to do this. Choice A is, oh, you can live this life and be happy, or you can be choice B and go to hell.
Yeah.
And just live like this. Like obviously as a kid, you're gonna choose you're not gonna choose hell. So
Right.
but I mean not
Yeah,
so
I mean,
drastic.
how do they paint it to you as a kid? Like the
And
devil's all red with a pitchfork and it's burning and fire and flames.
Yeah.
As a kid, you're gonna
Yeah.
choose.
Do you want to go
hey,
here? Or
I mean, these are very drastic circumstances, but the painting is still kind of the same because you influence and you nudge and use guilt to kind of guide.
guilt's the worst one, by
And
the way.
yeah, but that's the thing that'll stick with you.
That's the one they use, though, and that's why I think
Especially
it's so fucked.
when it's embedded and when it's at such a young age. Like that's a powerful thing. And it's just I didn't have to grow up with that, so I don't know that feeling. And it's just a weird thing to even talking to adults. Like they still don't want to disappoint or let them down, like because they still have that respect in your eyes, and that's kind of the feeling that you feel. But it just stems from early on.
Well, what's the root word of culture?
Buddy,
You know,
I don't do English well.
cult.
Cult.
I was going sure.
Sure.
That's
the root again.
I have two syllables.
I've been churring again.
Which syllable do I pick?
Can I phone a friend?
But yeah, I don't like the guilt. I don't like any of that. It's honestly, it pushed me away from a lot of different religions and everything, and this is why, it pushes me away, and I don't agree with a lot of it, and that's just me. And here's the thing: there's plenty of good people. There's some of the best people I know are super religious, and that's fine. I think a little different. And one thing I do notice, and some maybe not so much with some others, and they're pretty open about some stuff, but just like the predetermined, or like the just shake their head almost when they see oh, I don't go to church. Oh, I go to church and I believe in these and these and these. And I'm like, okay, well, that's you, man. Doesn't mean you're a better person than me, because you're not.
What do you do outside of church? What do you do when you go home? What do you do for your community? What do you do?
I don't know. Time and food.
Right. And none of that's a factor, though, because they just think that they're higher on like the food chain or the level or spiritual level or whatever, because they go to church or they pray and whatever. And they try to weasel by on some weird rules that they try to follow, but then like, no, well, I'm not actually breaking the rule. I'm just fucking an armpit, not a pussy. Like.
So here's the thing along that, and I'm not quite sure what the fuck you just said because
there's a pandemic going on.
Because I don't even know where you're going with that, but
dude, I heard it BYUI. they're getting around, having sex, dude. They're just fucking armpits, lubing them up. And this girl went to the doctor and was like, "Hey, doc, I get this weird rash. You got herpes in the armpits because they're fucking, dude, weird shit, right?" But then in their minds, it's like, "Hey, well, I wasn't, I didn't penetrate her puss.
You dodged a bullet."
Yeah, now she's got fucking herpes
She's got
pits.
itchy pits.
Yeah, bro, forever. This shit don't go away.
First, have you ever fucked an armpit?
No, man.
Matt,
Nobody here should say yes to that.
it's exhilarating. Okay.
Shaved or
Don't
not
knock it,
shaved? Huh?
Don't knock it down. Come on,
Fuck
buddy.
every crevice and crack on.
He asked for one of each on each armpit so he can try them both at the same time.
Oh yeah.
I'm more of a left armpit guy myself.
Okay. I heard you were more of a couch guy yourself, buddy.
Different strokes for different folks. How many
Couch
watermelons
cushion.
have you gotten close to in your day?
Oh well. Hello. So
So you can't judge a good armpit until you tried it. So
right.
your story's invalid. And sure, you got with a slutty armpit, but that's here nor there.
That's
I got with the herpes armpit.
Yeah.
First of all, that's a great point. How many people have you have sex with your armpit to get herpes? Like,
Wow.
4.
I guess it's one,
Oh,
but
God.
Yeah. Yeah. Riddle us that. What makes
I
you
guess
a whore?
technically just one.
What makes your
Yeah.
pit a whore?
You slutty pit.
Yeah, bro.
This,
But
buddy, this little gal.
oh Jesus.
Put that down. Your herpes is
Yeah.
firing up.
That's a chastity belt, buddy. Fuck.
You think anyone's fucked my armpit?
Hell no, man.
Somebody very old school would love your armpits.
Yeah, dude. That,
Very old school. But I
That's-
keep getting swiped.
dude, that thing's hairier than Leslie Chow's bush off the hangover.
I just patented only pits. So
Oh,
website
man.
coming to you.
yeah.
You mind if I could be like a model for the app cover?
Oh yeah, you could be the before.
The before.
I got the before bit. I'm proud of that one.
Oh, goddamn.
Like
But
an infomercial. Tired of fucking not getting your armpit fucked. Well,
oh, yeah, keep her tuned.
Butter you up, Buttercup.
Yeah. Fuck.
dude, we got a solution for you.
Yeah, dude. Listen, I know we joke about this, but this is a real fucking thing, by the way. And like, I don't know, I just think like people's moral compass is fucked up sometimes. Just because like, oh, I got a loophole. You can fuck my pit right here.
Yeah, I dare you.
You know?
Damn it, that's my slogan. I gotta change it now.
Jesus.
Only pits. Fuck my pit right here.
Jesus.
Left or right, we're super tight.
Yeah, how
You
long
wanna
were you
get- You want to get
brainstorming?
tangled?
We go back to the drawing board.
I like that.
Man.
Left or right, they're both tight.
Oh, well, that's not bad. We're getting warmer.
Think you're brave? Well, I need a shave. I don't even know what I was gonna say before.
I
God damn it.
Oh, yeah, going on a jog, put your hog.
Insert log.
All right, that's better. Oh. Anyway, fuck.
But I do agree with you, Brad, to actually comment on that is I do feel like people are just like delusional that there's a get out of jail free card, right? I think that's what it comes down to, that you could be, you go to church every week, you pray or whatever, like that makes you a good person. No, what makes you a good person is what you do in your day to day, how you treat people, how do you, like try to better yourself, better the people around you, better the community around you. And, you could go to church 7 days a week, like my dad, but if you're a fucking murderer, you're kind of a shitty person, right?
Yeah.
But I'm not saying my dad was a murderer. I'm just saying,
Dexter.
it's like, yeah, it's all intention. It's all perception of what you think is, truly being a good person. And, maybe that's a box that helps you. I don't know. I don't know the checklist on, being 100% a good person. Maybe it's, being kind, listen, help others, go to church, whatever. But I cannot go to church and still feel like I'm a good person.
Okay, I can listen to some music that's inspiring and go and do some great shit, But
Yeah.
but with like the whole thing that I just hate and I don't agree with is using fear and guilt to make people do what you want because that's what you believe. And I don't think that's right in any situation. Like if I'm like, hey guys, let me just guilt trip you into believing what I believe. Then it takes away all conversation. And then they'll give you a couple lines to be like, oh well, mysterious ways and blah 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 and wait and find out patience is a virtue. Like some of these things are probably meant to use in other ways, but they use them as like a guilt trip. I think it's fucked because if what is they're saying in the Bible, we have free will and we have our choice and all this, then you're taking away that free will by ingraining it when we're fucking children and then shunning you if you go the opposite route of whatever you were raised around,
Mm-hmm.
I think it's the opposite of what things are. And I don't know, that's a lot what deters me, but
I think I think like there's a lot of good that can come from religion. Like I know I reference Christianity, Catholicism because that's what I was raised on, but all religions are fairly based on like similar concepts, right? My
yeah.
whole thing is there's still a lot of good that can come of it if you take the learning lessons that could come from it. Like take this story. Okay, like maybe this wasn't actually something that happened. Let's not take it for fact, but what came out of it? Oh, this person learned that doing this is wrong. Okay, that's fine. I think that's perfectly fine. If you take the stories that are in the Bible and or whatever religion you follow or whatever, and take it for a learning lesson. Just like anything, when you try to talk to young kids, and like my kids, are 6 and 4, and I'm trying to tell them why this isn't okay. I try to give them a scenario that they'd relate to, right? And that's just me trying to put it in perspective for them in their point of life. Like versus talking to you guys, you can be more cut and dry to the point. But a 6 and a 4-year-old, you kind of finagle how you say it to make it make sense to them. And I think that if you use religion for that reason, I think it's fine. But yeah, to Brad's point, when you use it as you do this or you're going to hell and you're going to be a terrible person and you'll, whatever, like that's just not okay. Manipulation is not okay. Like use it for learning lessons and talking points and examples, but um, pushing it. Like I've met people that, you know, very religious, but don't try to push it on you. And then others that do. And it's just like, man, I don't want to be around you because you feel like you need to convert me. It's like, man, I've already been down this path. I spent my first 20 years on this earth. Literally, religion was in my schools and in my life all the time. Like, you don't try to convert me, like just try to be like able to talk to me in like a normal sense of life and like make sure that I'm not an asshole. Like, I don't know.
I think it's really cool when you meet those people, though. Like you meet those people who are, I mean, they're straight as an arrow. They believe their religion and they see outside of their own personal beliefs and accept you. I think those are
Agreed.
the people that understand their religion and
Agreed.
understand what they believe in because it's not for them. And they probably understand that this is what I believe in, but you don't have to. It's just the cut and dry people are just come off really judgy, but the rare breeds of someone who's super religious and you have an immediate judgment on them. If you'd never met them before, you know how they are. You're shit. Here we go. I don't even want to associate with these people because they're going to push their religion on me. And when they don't, it kind of takes you back. And then when you have conversations with them and associate with them, like their religion isn't even you wouldn't even know. I mean, that's the type of people that are really cool because they have strong beliefs and they also have an openness to them that I think they get it. They've kind of mastered their beliefs.
Mm-hmm. That's a great point. I like that, and I guess
For real.
I guess kind of building off that, this is more of a question for you guys because that actually is actually a really great way of saying it and kind of putting in perspective. And my question is like, what about man, how do I don't want this to come off wrong, but
Just do a disclaimer.
yeah, disclaimer.
No matter what you say, don't take it wrong.
Might sound like a dumbass or an idiot here, but I'm just more curious. Is so I have some people in my life that I've known for a very long time, like since I was in grade school, and so that's kind of still a very wide pool, but you know it is what it is. And
It's like
some
the
of these
90s.
people, some of these people didn't really like in college, high school, college days, like yeah, they went to church, they did all that, but like they weren't truly practicing what they preached, right? But now they're, you know, in their 30s, they have kids, and I get it. Things come, you kind of maybe come back. Like once you have kids, like everybody says, like, oh man, you find religion again because you got to figure out like how to be a good role model or whatever for your kids, and that's one avenue for people. I'm not saying I go by that, but long story short is then now there's a lot of things happening in our world, and a very big thing that happened recently that now they're letting religion drive their decisions on why things are in law, in government, the right thing to do or not to do. And I
Yeah.
don't truly think they look at the big picture on how it could affect them. And I could get more specific, but I don't want to get too controversial or whatever. But like when your religious beliefs start to drive and impact the separation of, you know, church and state, I have, to your point, Pete, people that can accept you for not being religious, but like you have your values in check and whatever, like, and they're good with that. I think are a lot of the times of people that can then say our government and our church can be separate and need to be separate because there's things that like it just doesn't have to be tied together. Because who's to say what religion is quote unquote the right religion or the one you have to follow?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. Not sure I really asked a really good question there, but I struggle lately with the separation of church and state within our current world.
You want to separate it or you don't want to separate it?
You
I
have
do.
to separate it.
You
I do want to separate it, and I don't feel like it is right now.
No.
Well,
You
there's
have to
always been
separate it.
like in God we trust on all of our money since.
Which I don't
Forever.
understand that makes sense. And I know,
Well, but it's
aren't we
God. I think
supposed-
it's a very,
loose term.
broad. Yeah, it's a broad thing. It's not like tied to any religion, but it's just probably based off of, you know, a lot of what people thought, whatever God they had, or whatever, or
Yeah.
they believe in a higher. You could put in a higher power we trust, whatever.
Sure.
'Cause I'm sure that I don't know about everyone, but there's probably a good majority of the world who believes in some sort of a higher power. So that's probably why it's still there and people don't battle it.
Sure.
But to your point, I don't think you should push like one certain type of religious stuff or anything like that, or maybe not like tons, but I don't know if we need to take it away because I feel like, you know, it has a lot of good values and a lot of stuff. Not everything like guilt and all that garbage, but there's a lot of good values in believing in a higher power, I think.
Well, and I'm not saying, because I do. I believe in a higher power. I believe that there's something that has something to do with where we're at today and how we got here and what we're doing. But my thing is like, I really want to give a specific example, but I'm going to dodge it. It's
Keep dodging, buddy. I know what you're talking about. Keep
yeah.
dodging.
So it's just one of those things where it's just
I
like,
don't know.
let your religious beliefs be your religious beliefs, and let how our country should be run decided by legislature and laws, and hoping that you're putting the right people in office, and hoping that we're voting on the right things, and hoping that we're trying to make the best decisions for our economy, for our world, for our people. Not world because our country, but and I know we already talked politics. I'm not trying
Does
to
it
get into
rhyme
that.
with
I'm not
swish, smush, smush, washer?
No.
Oh, okay. I get it.
But yes,
yes,
that's
okay.
so.
I hear
Try
you
to be
on that
vague
one.
about it,
I hear
but
you
you know
on
what I'm
that
saying?
one,
Like it's just very, I don't know.
yeah.
talk
that
about-
that should definitely be out. That shouldn't be a thing.
but that's what I'm getting at. And I know anybody listening, you can't see us and everything, but essentially there's examples
We're
of
good looking.
yeah, we're too hot to handle. So
One direction.
you wouldn't hear anything we're saying if you were looking at us. But my whole thing is like,
Nah, I hear what you're saying, man.
I get beliefs, but like there's so much contradiction in some things that are being pushed through versus what we lay our groundwork on as a country. Like you have the right to be free. You have the right to do, I just feel like, I don't know.
There's
Rights
a
are
lot
being
more
sucked up.
important things, I feel like, than
Yes.
pushing
Agreed.
a lot of that type of stuff. Yes, 1,000,000,000%. And with the government, state, whatever. I mean, the fact that it's here, I don't mind. Like I don't mind at all. Like keeping In God We Trust on our money. Like, I think it's fine, but I'm also, believe a certain type of way. So I'm cool with it. Some people don't, but I I definitely don't believe in pushing. But then again, what you're saying is that's pushing your belief on someone else, which I don't think is right.
Agreed.
And that's
Yeah.
that's what I don't feel like religion is about, though. Like, I really,
shouldn't
really
be about
don't.
that.
I really
Shouldn't be,
don't.
but-
But it is, and I feel like it gets so misconstrued, and it's almost like picking a tribe. Easy, buddy. You're like, hey, well, I'm on this tribe, and so mine's the best, and here's what we believe. Oh, I'm on this one, and mine's the best, buddy.
But again, I am okay with religion. I'm okay with all the religions that are out there. I want people to have a place, people to feel like they're a part of something that can, religion is one way for some people to find focus, to find inspiration, to find how to frame up their life and whatnot. And then yeah, let's take the people that push it or force it or whatever. But like I feel like religion has its place, just like everything else. Like you want to believe in meditation, you want to believe in whatever. Like it all has its place as long as it's not forced and it's not manipulative and things like that. Let it be what it is, and I'm perfectly fine with it. Just like we have all the sports in the world that exist, we have all the hobbies that exist, we have all these podcasts that exist, we have all these things that can coexist because it gives someone a place to call home. It gives someone a place to find direction and meaning in life. Like that's all beautiful. I love that. To your point, Brad, when it becomes forced and pushed, or when you're talking about how there's people that can respect that you don't follow a specific religion and they still see you as a good person, like that's great and whatnot. It's all that can coexist. It's just there's lines that are crossed, and it's just that's when it starts to suck.
Yeah, because to be honest, guys, I'm gonna hit you with some shit, bro. There's so many different scenarios and nobody knows. I mean, you could come back and reincarnate and, live in different lives until you learn what you need to learn and then, move on. You also could live one life and then you could die and then you could go try to become a god yourself, right? And create your own worlds and whatever. This could also be hell. We don't know. Like, this could be hell and and you don't know until you fucking figure it out, then you get out of it. And then, or you could just go up and there could be this grand kingdom in paradise. Like, all these scenarios might be true. One of them could be true, but nobody fucking knows. So pushing any one of them on somebody to sway them or guilt trip them, I think is super wrong because nobody fucking knows any of it. And nobody can prove any of it.
The hard thing is like doing something that you religiously or morally believe in can have ramifications to it by you getting jail time in something that you originally, let's say you came here to America to have freedom. I mean, there's a ton of other countries that have freedom, but a different set of, let's just say, rules, laws, and almost like a limitation of how much you can practice your religious freedom. And you get committed of a crime here that you wouldn't have got committed of a crime somewhere else. And then now you have to spend your time here in a prison or in a jail that in other countries you wouldn't. And it changes by like state to state here too. Like you have people that are serving time for Weed.
Weed.
felony drug trafficking
Yeah,
weed
weed.
charges
Yeah,
that
weed.
if they were 50 miles across the other border, it'd be as free as it can get. They'd be high as a kite
Yeah,
and just fine. And
Yeah.
there's still like pending charges of, things that have changed. It's not illegal anymore, and they're still in jail or in prison for that type of shit. Even though the law changed, but they have to go through the legalities of it, and they're sitting in there like, what the fuck? Like, if I would have held out for 2 more years, you're telling me that I could be living my life just fine?
Yeah. That's why one of the reasons I
mean-
fucking love Trump so much, because he, released a lot of people who smoked weed and shit, because he did the same thing. Like, that's, love or hate him, but he did do that, and I thought that was pretty awesome.
But I mean, the similarities are there, and I don't want this to come off the wrong, but it's just like saying, we're in this country, we have our freedoms, we all have to go through this together. Changes are going to be made together, and it might not go your way. And if you don't like the way something goes, either fight it and let yourself be heard, go with it, or just stay in the shadows. Like, you have to realize that you're gonna have to
Or
do
move.
something. Like, if you're just gonna sit back and bitch and not do anything, then you're along for the ride. You're riding the tide.
Yeah,
Go
life's gonna
hide.
control you. Yeah. So let me let me throw a little something you guys' way. So, would you guys agree that happiness is something that is what everyone wants, or you want to achieve and work towards, right?
Yeah.
So, what if this is kind of shit that I kind of blow by, but like, what if everything in the Bible, or maybe not even the Bible, like a lot of what Buddha teach, or whatever, like all the religions, what if they're all just different ways of saying, or different interpretations? Like, hey, to achieve happiness, I'm gonna say these metaphors, and these are like really, really good ways to be happy in life. Like, oh, hey, I'm gonna tell you this story about David and Goliath, and if there's some there's something you have to take down, like big in your life, it doesn't matter how far you are down, or how small you are, or whatever, you can make it happen if you fucking bust your ass, and then you go get it, and you can take down the giant, or you can take down the beast, or become the best, or world champs, or whatever. That's just one story, but what if they're all a bunch of little stories that are just like, hey, this is happiness is want to be achieved, and this is the different ways like they can be achieved, or these are different stories or guidelines, or like little tidbits on to help you out. You know what I mean?
I mean, I kind of view life that way in general, as not being very just choosing a direction. Excuse me. Your Juan direction. But like, not sticking to a religion or anything, just being kind of open. But at the same time, kind of realizing that I'm not, like, this life isn't the end. There's something else. But I don't spend every Sunday thinking about it, or preaching towards somebody, or praising somebody. Like, that's just not me. And does that make me a bad person in some people's eyes? Maybe. In others, no. It's just Sunday. But as long as I'm living my life, like, like I was talking about earlier, you have a moral compass, and some people have it, some people don't. But when you have it.
Yeah.
You know when you have a moral compass, and the something that makes you feel bad. And
Yes.
it's just acknowledging that, and
Mhm.
knowing, like, something that you did wrong. You don't have to answer to somebody else to ask for forgiveness. You forgive yourself for it, and just go through that, because at the end of the tunnel, when it's all said and done, what if you just have to look yourself in the mirror and say, "Hey, did I atone for all my wrongs to myself, or am I looking at someone else and feeling like I am waiting for my test result?
Right? Oh, if I pass or failed, because if you actually do that right now in this life, look yourself in the mirror and ask you that, you feel pretty fucking good, or whatever. Like it's a thing. But also, I guess I don't know if it's to your point, but like, nobody knows or whatever. And the one thing that I have that leads me to believe like there's definitely something after this is no one can explain consciousness. Whether you want to call it a soul or, you or whatever. No one can explain it. No one can figure it out. And they want to say, oh, your soul might weigh 21 grams. When you die, you weigh 21 grams lighter than before, which I don't know if that's ever been proven or not, or they, it's old school weight. But
Sounds like a sweet rap song.
well,
I
you're
got
not
21
talking about
grams.
fucking cocaine, Betty, but
Must be alive.
that's what you're sold. But no one can explain any of that. And if you can't explain it, you can probably definitely pass it from here to somewhere else or transfer it or whatever. If no one knows what it is, they can't explain it, and everyone has it, and everyone is different in who they are, then, you might be able to transfer it or move it, or, it might just be you, and this is just, your meat suit or whatever. This might be just your body. I mean, all these things could be correct, and there's not anyone to say
Your
yes
body's
or
a
no.
vessel.
Could
The
be
vessel
a
for your
vessel.
soul.
Yeah. Right? And and I that's why I'm pretty open on some things, and I'm not like, hey, well, this is right or that's right. But I just like to pose these questions or these statements to be like, hey, well, combat it if you can, but this is kind of where I'm at. And so
There's only one person in the world that you can't lie to, and it's yourself.
bingo.
Like
buddy.
you know when it's a lie.
You've been
So
listening
take
to the
that
podcast.
as
I'm just
consciousness.
kidding.
And what are you doing, man? You playing beer pong?
Dropping the mic right there.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, drop that mic. But I mean, that's where I kind of go with like the moral compass. Like it's there in you. And you can try and convince even yourself of something that like, oh, I'm gonna try and believe this lie, try and believe this lie, talk myself or justify why I did this, and this, or anything in your life, but you already know that you're trying to lie to yourself. So nobody else knows that. You could fool a million people out of a million people. And you could be the best liar on the face of the earth, and no one would know that except you.
Yep.
So that's where I'm saying when it comes to the end and you fooled everybody, everyone thinks you're the best person ever, but you look in that mirror and then all of a sudden you're like, shit, I did lie about that. And I know I lied about that. Nobody else knows, but it's just you and you.
Yep. And are you
And
okay with that?
well, I mean, that's another level of it though. Like if you can be okay with it, knowing that it's not true, that's a different level of like
Well, I just meant like doing
you.
something and you might think it's not like wrong or right or maybe a gray area, but like, can you be okay with that with yourself? I think it's a different like level.
Yeah,
handling that.
exactly. You be okay with yourself and not like, I mean, let's just say someone got away with murdering somebody, and then the end of the tunnel, nobody in the world knew that you did that, and you got away with it. Are you looking at yourself being like, "Oh, I'm okay, I got away with that"? Like, that's where morally you know that's not right.
Yeah.
But
Yes. Yeah, the small
mean,
areas I think are where people get tripped up or have problems. Like, I I stole a candy bar or something. Like, maybe you shouldn't do it, but like you're gonna beat yourself up and be like, well, I'm a shitty person, or be like, hey, well, I did it, and I'm okay. I'm still a good person. That's a small scale. I mean, you could go from like, I don't know, being, I don't know, deceitful to people and lying and, and then getting away with it, or like,
yeah.
cheating on husband, wife, and then hiding it from her or something, and then being okay. But like,
Got away with it.
yeah, but you got away with it, or where do you look at yourself on certain things, and you're like, well, am I okay with it? Am I doing it because this is what makes me happy, and is this okay? And I think that's where a lot of internal battles would come with. There's like a lot of gray areas, like, oh well, this makes me happy, and this is what I want to do. Just because it might affect someone else or whatever, is that on me, or certain things like that, right? I think that's where
Yeah.
things
And are those things that you have dealt with? Like, tomorrow's never promised, so you could go without that being resolved. And just because you didn't resolve it, does that mean that let's just say we transition spiritually and go somewhere else and you haven't resolved those, but not saying that you wouldn't have resolved those issues along the way. Like, that's where I feel like intention, and you just have there's a gut feeling. You have a terrible gut feeling about something.
Can I
Alright, go on, bud.
challenge? Can I? Because I've been thinking about this.
Oh,
Please do.
So I obviously have been talking a lot about, if your intentions are in the right place, like you didn't mean it maliciously, but then as long as you have some self-awareness and you come back and you try to make your wrongs right, right?
Mhm.
Like, as Brad knows, I got some experience with narcissists, right? Who think they're never wrong. Everything they do is right. It's the other person's fault, whatever. But let me ask you this. So whether it's narcissists or maybe it's lack of education, self-awareness, whatever. Like, in the court of law, you can't use ignorance as a defense, right? Because you didn't know the law doesn't mean that it's okay to break it. So in regards to, let's take that part out of it, but just like using that as an example to pave the way of where I'm going here. If you're doing something that to the majority of people is wrong,
Mhm.
but you don't see it as wrong because you think your intentions are right, or not even your intentions are right, but you just say you have something built up in your head that, like, it's okay that I'm doing this because of X, Y, and Z. You've convinced yourself it's okay to be doing it. And I'll give an example. I knew someone who, well, because I'm not in love or married with this person, it's okay to like sleep around. Like, to them, it was okay. I wasn't hurting anybody. I wasn't committed to anybody in the grand scheme of things because we weren't married, whatever. But could easily be seen as a shitty person, right? So, with that thought of where you go after, or what happens after you pass, or whatever the case may be, just because you have ignorance, right?
Mhm.
And who's to really say what is right and wrong in the very big scheme? Like, I know, like, you can't just kill someone, but what if, to Brad's example weeks ago, that person killed my entire family for no reason? Do I have the right to kill them? Right? Like, do I have the right to retaliate?
Right.
So it's like
eye for an eye.
there's a lot of like confusion in that. So what truly is right? It's all situational based, circumstantial, your mindset, your whatever. So like when you put all these factors in and truly complicate the system, how do you truly determine what someone did or didn't do was the right decision?
Yeah, I'm going to bring it back to that tribe we were talking about earlier. Like, they don't know what our beliefs are, and what they do is, what we believe is wrong. But what's to say that, after they die, oh boy.
Sorry. Please continue.
Just making an appearance.
Oh my god. Oh, man.
No, I'm sorry, Timbo.
Just hang it up.
You got the mic. Just
Go on.
please go.
Please go.
More of it.
Please
It doesn't feel right. But.
Please go on.
Oh yeah, no. What I was trying to say is that what's to say, or you're talking about the ignorance and with these people, they don't know what what we believe is wrong, and what they're doing might be wrong by our belief. So what's to say that, judgment day for them isn't different than for us? Or they don't
Yeah,
have
that's
those same written rules of, don't do this, you can't marry this person, you can't this and that.
because you can go off on like just crazy.
Wow, you guys got all of it. Wow.
Oh, buddy,
This
good
is
for
terrible.
you.
Timbo
Good for
waited
you.
an hour to
I know. I
have
felt
an
bad. That
impact, have an impact.
I
on
just-
it.
Timbo,
And he
I
please
know.
go on, buddy. He's making a really good point. Yeah, please.
That's what made me feel bad too, is because my wife brought me a beer and I texted her to bring me that, and then it all fell
God.
apart. But
But if you heard what Timbo was saying, I 100%, I'm on board 100% with that thought process. Like, who's
Yeah.
to say one society, one culture, one religion, whatever, has the right mindset for what right and wrong is? That's kind of what my point is, right?
Mhm.
And like Timbo, you laid it out perfectly. Like, you could have a group of people, we'll just call it a group of people, thinking they're doing everything right, doing it by the book, by what they define it as. And someone commits a crime, you execute them or whatever. But then this group goes a different route. Like,
Right. Yeah. They could go a different route, but honestly, like, dude, let's just throw this in here. Jesus Christ, guys. Get your shit together. But to your point, like, they say, I don't know who exactly they are, but I've heard it once upon a time that they say that that like monogamy isn't ingrained in us, but yet we're supposed to have marriage and all this, and like, is it right or wrong? You know what I mean? Thoughts?
Yeah. No thoughts. No, I know what you're saying though, but you can also like just see how much religion drives terrible things that have happened in the world, and
Yeah.
to them
The
and to their
richest-
following,
The richest,
like,
I don't know if you want to call it a company, but the most money in the world belongs to religions. By the way, stick that in your pipe and smoke it, bud. Put Pep's pipe down. Quit smoking it, buddy. But for real though, like, if we're ingrained, or we're we are human, we're made how we are, and we're made in God's image or whatever, who's to say that, like, okay, I mean, I'm just knowing this because this is just on there, like, plenty of times I've heard, like, monogamy is not what we're built for, but yet it's taught to us, and that's what the whole world is about. Like,
mhm.
who says that it's right or wrong, or you're not supposed to have one wife or one husband? Like, who says that all that's true? That's just because that's what we've been taught, and that's what we said, and we say our vows, and if you get divorced, they take half your shit. So,
I mean, there's plenty of religions that kind of preached king, multiple wives. I mean, and it was not shunned. And then even just some fucked
Yeah,
up
but
scenarios.
that's built on the male always having that freedom, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's kind
Yeah.
of their.
Seem a little proud of
You're
that.
goddamn right.
Absolutely.
As I puff my chest.
Oh, well. Well, the reason
Pipe
for it is
down
because we're
there.
more, we're more providers and they're more nurturing is the reason that's a thing, by the way.
Yeah, because like, I mean, a king couldn't have, a baby all the time. He could have multiple wives that kind of had plenty of babies and made his bloodline.
Spread the seed.
Yeah, exactly. So
And they'll
that was
take
just
care of him while he's taking care of multiple people because, we can't do that. They say we can't multitask,
Yeah, and
but hello.
But if they couldn't, have a baby, and they had infertility issues, then they got discarded, and probably even worse than that. Like that's what's fucked up. I mean, that's where it takes the natural everyday that you know murder's wrong, you know all this stuff is wrong. But if a king's bride couldn't have a baby, then she'd be discarded. Like useless, is in a sense, like, oh well, you're done for. And just took away everything at that point away from her. Her whole beliefs and her whole everything that she grew up to believe in is just erased and gone because of this. And that's where it, like you were kind of saying, where when does your moral compass and when does all that kind of get shifted into what I believe is what is
Yeah.
true. And like,
Yeah, where's the line?
you may feel like you fulfilled your life to the fullest and you did everything by the book of what you believe, and it is the most fucked up story ever. Adolf Hitler, like, he
Damn,
fucking
that took a turn.
that's what I'm saying, though. He probably felt like he fulfilled as much as he could have in his life.
Yeah.
What
And
did
we
he
all
do
know
again?
he's taking pineapples up the ass in hell right now.
Yep.
Guaranteed.
I mean, maybe.
Little Nicky proved it.
Jesus. Proved it. Oh yeah, that was in a movie. So.
Took me a
It's like-
second to.
All right.
wasn't-
No, I see. I see what you're saying, though. I see it. So, I mean, that kind of just goes along with the point of maybe this is taught that, or maybe you think that. Maybe I don't know. Who knows what happens? Maybe he was meant to do that. So, because one of my biggest things is good will always rise up against evil. So maybe there always has to be a, a nemesis, so to speak. Maybe, maybe
An antagonist.
and maybe
Yeah,
that
but-
was his role. I don't know. Who?
But how many? Oh God, how many people? How many people though have said like, "Oh, I saw the light," or "I had this vision," or even
DMT.
like forever ago up until now, like people say they have visions, they have spiritual interactions and connections and stuff like that. Like you're at that point, you're literally taking them for what their word is.
Face value.
And yeah, and there's some people that are cracked out or on something or not mentally stable, but then there's other people who are like, man, maybe they're onto something here. Like maybe they did have something happen to them or whatever. Like, how do you decide what to believe in and what not to in that situation? Right? Like say any one of us four, I feel like have pretty stable minds, pretty stable like beliefs,
Thanks,
pretty
bud.
pretty grounded people, like can make some pretty rational decisions.
I'm always proud.
But what if one of us came on the podcast next week, like, I got to talk to you about the vision I had, or talk to you about like, I saw the light or whatever. Like, be real. Will take me. I'll put me on the. I'm on the chopping block here. I came to you guys next week and said, I had a vision, and this is what it looks like in the afterlife, and I know that there is a place that we all go that is magical if we do the right things, and if we don't, you're going to be fucking miserable for eternity, and what that means is unbearable. Like,
I know what you're saying, man.
and maybe you
Would
guys,
believe you or is there
yeah,
any
would you
that?
believe me? Would you think I'm a fucking whack job? Like, what would you think? Like, and be
So-
honest. Like, don't be honest. Like,
So let me hit you with this. So crazy enough, right? So, one of my younger football coaches, when I grew it up, he actually went into a coma, and then he came out of it, and he wrote a book about it. It's called The Message. If you want to look it up. So this happened to him. Like he went to heaven, or and saw everything and described how beautiful it was, and then went and like saw his kids and told these stories about how he was there watching, and all when they're coma, so that everyone was blown away on how he saw them or how he knew all these things that he knew, because he was in the coma. But he said that he went to heaven and, you know, saw these different religions there and these people and these beautiful colors and all these different stuff. He wrote a whole book about it. And so it's kind of the same scenario, but then here comes the big question. Do you believe it? Or is there another explanation? Or, you know, is it he was in a coma and he released a bunch of DMT? Or, you know, like there could be different things. Or you're like, yeah, that's what it is. And that's, you know, what's after this.
So it's like trusting your source.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I've literally told, because my grandma's she's like religious, but not to the point of like she's just diehard choosing a side, you know, picking a church or anything. But she's always kind of giving me shit for not believing and not being religious to a certain standpoint. So I always told her, I was like, all right, Grandma, when you die, if you come back and visit me and tell me that the way I word it is, if you tell me that you've met Jesus Christ and make it clear to me, I will believe, hands down, and I won't question it. But you have to do that for me. And she's always told me, she said, I will. Okay, I will. And she believes in it so much that she probably fucking will, just to say I told you so. And then I'll just still be like, prove it again. Do it again.
Yeah. Come on. That was one time. Luke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What, do you got a little window?
Yeah.
But
But
oh, go ahead. Sorry.
It's just hard to.
I was just going to emphasize that I mean, it's kind of sad that we need that like prove it type of mentality, but she believes in it so much, but she doesn't preach it at all.
Yeah.
And I don't believe in it enough that she is solely like set that she's like, I'm going to do that. When I die, you told me this is what you need to believe in it, that I'll do it. And I've said that a few times to her. So I'm going to shit my panties when she
Right.
passes away, and then all of a sudden she's in my bedroom. Jesus. Just met him.
Yeah. Yeah. Hell of a guy.
Hell of a guy.
Yeah.
Luscious locks.
All right. I guess to that point, not to take away, you know, your story, but P, something you said earlier of like you know, where you were believing or you always knew and about like the dark side of shit or like, you know, the demonic side, but you didn't really believe in the good. Why is that? Or why do you think that is of why? Because me, I've always thought, and maybe this is religion or anything, but it was always like good and evil. Like for me, I always know like there's good in the world and there's bad. I mean, especially now you see it in the world, and I always know that, you know, I fully believe like good will always rise up against evil and battle it.
I don't know. I think it might have been like a manifestation of just kind of childhood bringing up, kind of how my times were as a young kid. And like I was saying, as a young kid, you're pretty influenced on your surroundings and what you're going through. So maybe that was just my interpretation of life and kind of how I just thought life was. And I mean, to kind of back that up, like I was told from, you know, relatives of just little experiences they had, and they're always scary to me. And I always interpreted them as like being pretty scary. But to not have a ton of positive in my life early on probably influenced that there was more negative out there than there was good. That's the only way I could, you know, kind of as an adult try and interpret what happened as a kid for me.
Oh, okay. So a lot of bad shit was going on, and just kind of okay. I see what you're saying. So now, I guess now that you're older, are you thinking more of like, you know, I mean, I know you kind of went into it, but like, you know, there's good and evil, or that's, you know, it's kind of how you think about it, or is it just kind of like, hey, there's both in this world and 50-50?
Oh no, I think it's more. I mean, this is just me personally. I have a feeling there's definitely both in this world, but beyond this world, that's what is kind of a question mark for me, and that still gives me, scares, like shit that I can't control or I can't explain. Like if I were to be sitting here right now and all of a sudden, all my couch cushions just started flying off the couch, I'm like, what the fuck? And just be terrified about it. But I wouldn't think I'm gonna, die from it or be too scared about it because I do believe in that other side that will protect me from it. I don't know necessarily what that side is, but I know the other side has to exist. So why wouldn't I believe on the side that's protecting me?
Hmm. That's good.
I don't know either side what to name it, but I believe both sides exist.
Good and evil. I mean,
Yeah. I mean that's
that's
the
common
easiest way to
terms,
put it.
So let me put my tinfoil hat on real quick. Just a
All right,
quick
well,
sender.
I didn't make one tonight, but
Yeah, sorry, buddy. I wish I had one to put on, but what if that all the evil people, Hitler, whatever, what if they're like NPCs, or what if they're actually like the dark side, or demons, devils, actually possessing them and being evil? So they're not actually a human with a soul. They're whatever else, or just an NPC to see if like people
just a
like
vessel.
us. Yeah, like maybe say maybe I don't know. You can go either way with it. Either it's a demon or a devil or whatever possessing them, or it could just be an NPC programmed to be fucking, not have feelings and be malicious and do fucked up shit to see if good will rise up, or if people will combat against it, or people will do the right thing. Like, what do you guys think about that?
That sounds strange. Go ahead, Timbo.
It's I don't even know.
It's a good question. I know.
Yeah, it's a really good question, but it just ties into the good versus evil and the yeah, I don't even know how to touch on the whole NPC and but just on evil people in general.
Yeah.
I feel like there's good lessons to learn from all the, I guess, religious teachings or even just the moral compass teachings that we pass along to people, and teaching us how to combat that evil and how to rise up and fight against it and prevail instead of just laying down and letting it happen. I mean, use Hitler as an example.
Yeah. Hitler could
He
have been
took
an NPC, and what I mean by that is like God could have, or higher power, whatever you want to call him, God, created like this evil person to do these things just to see what people would do, or maybe that was something that they needed to be fulfilled or whatever. It could be a fluke, and it could be he could be just a fucked up person, or it could be a demon devil. But all these things are crazy. These go through my mind sometimes, by the way.
See, the funny thing that you bring this up is I've always kind of thought of like the cliche everything happens for a reason. But
My grandma always said that to me. Always.
yeah, I don't think anything is an accident. By saying that, it's weird that I never grew up really religious, but I've kind of believed that statement. And I think that's where you're kind of dabbling into my superstitions a little bit. Like I don't think there's too many coincidences to look past them. Because yeah, you're kind of playing the results on how things worked out, but fuck, they work out every time.
Yeah, that's
And
why I
you
really
can
believe good will rise up against evil, bro.
exactly. And see, and that's where I'm saying I was never really religious, but I believe that, and I look at the sequence of events that happened, and I'm like, oh, if this would have happened, a little later in my life, or if this didn't happen right now in my life, I wouldn't be right here. And maybe that's just me trying to justify what's going on in my life, but that's an explanation to an extent. where it lets me wrap my head around, okay, this happened because of this. So take it as this message. And that's offering choice.
Yeah.
You can
No choice.
interpret that as, okay, I'll take that as this message, and so I'll do this with it, or I can go down this path and then see where that leads me. But whichever way I choose, is I don't think it's necessarily predetermined. So I'm not saying like it's set. If I go down this path, this is my fate. But at the same time, it's just like you live your life and then a result happens that kind of opens your eyes. Kind of like checkpoints in your life.
Yeah.
You can free roam and go throughout your life, and then you hit a checkpoint and have to evaluate. Just to see what path, if you're on the wrong path or you're on the right path. But you get to choose that path still.
All right. Well, let me hit you with this, Pete, to see if we're aligning, or I think where you're headed. Right. Let me hit you this.
Go on, buddy.
So with so say you go down, you could choose left or right. You got free will. What if everything, if you choose the wrong way, is just a lesson that you need to learn, and then the people who don't ever figure it out, they just are naive, or they're just dummies, or they just don't want to figure it out, so they just keep choosing the wrong shit. But the whole point of choosing left or right, if you go right and it's the wrong way, you learn, and then you get back on the right path, and then you head down that right direction. So you're always headed towards the right direction if you want to learn from your mistakes and choose to be a better person, and choose to get back on track, because I really truly believe like failing is the only way to learn in life and business, or fucking, relationships, whatever. Like, you have to fail, and then you get back up, and then you fucking figure it the fuck out. So like, if you never learn, or you don't want to learn, or you're narcissistic, whatever, and like, oh, well, I don't do anything wrong, then yeah, you're going to be fucking shitty, and you're going to keep failing, and you're never going to figure it out. But if you fail, and then, that's why I think we have these choices to go left or right. Right? Are we, kind of on the same wavelength there?
Yeah, the biggest thing I think that you learn from them, even when you don't realize you're learning from them, it's like a lesson that you don't quite understand at the time. But if you're absorbing that lesson and you kind of get it, it's that aha moment of just like oh my gosh, I've already solved this problem, or I've dealt with this, or I've done this, and this.
Right.
It's kind of just like yes, this is why. But that is you progressing. The only time you won't do that is if you're stuck in a limbo loop of depression and regret and what's the word I was looking for? Guilt. Guilt is the one I was going with. If you're stuck in a guilt loop, that means you just haven't dealt with it.
Religion pushes, which
yeah, absolutely. But if you've guilt is just like a smoke screen of a hard task ahead of you. So get through that smoke screen and get to the source of why you're feeling guilt. And then it allows you to progress. You progress through that, and then next thing you know, you're just on cruise control through life. But don't worry, it's going to hit again. Something else is going to hit. But as long as you keep hurdling that guilt obstacle, you're not stuck. If you get, a flat tire and you're sitting on the side of the road, that's just pure guilt just sitting there. What are you going to do? Sit there, call AAA, and they never come? Like,
right. Or, you figure out, you learn how to change it, but Pete, one thing I want to go down, because I don't know, I've been different places in my life, and maybe this will hit home, maybe it won't. But so with all the religion talk, and this is the right one, or you didn't grow up religious, or whatever, and that might put like a weird, a tainted sort of feeling, or whatever, like, oh, I don't. So just picture picture this though, like, you know, in the Bible or whatever, like it says there'll be a lot of false prophets, a lot of false idols. What if every religion is a false prophet and a false idol and a false leader? And there's not even supposed to be one religion. There's just supposed to be the belief of a higher power and to know that he's going to guide you in the right direction. And this is all just a learning period in our life to wisen up our soul or, you know, consciousness or whatever. And we're just supposed to learn a bunch of shit and figure shit out so we grow as a soul. And what if that's why I don't like, you know, a lot of religions. And I'm not saying that there's anything bad with them, but like the shun or the guilt portion or anything like that that you might feel or people might put on you or you might even think about, like, oh, I didn't grow up religious, or, you know, this was on me or anything, like that's what I have to combat with that. And I don't know, I guess I would like to hear your thoughts on that or anything, like if, you know, I don't know, maybe it.
I mean, there's theories and ways to think about it. I mean, it's like taking a roundabout with 80 exits. Whichever one you choose could be the right one, or could be the wrong one. But at the beginning of the roundabout, if it says something like, "Hey, you know, you could choose any exit, but they could be false and, you know, mislead you and do all this." Well, what if you never took an exit? What if you just went around the roundabout and all of a sudden you came back and you're just like, "Oh,
Circles.
congratulations, you didn't take my false message." And, you know, I was
Yeah.
warning you about all this stuff and you didn't get consumed of my fake warning. So everyone that took a road off that roundabout truly believed in their road, and they're gonna battle everyone else that was on their other exit. Be like, oh, well, took the wrong exit. What are you, an idiot? This is the one, and this is why. But we're all on the same goddamn path. So if you understand that message and just be like, hey, this is why the original path gave you the free will to exit whenever the hell you wanted to exit. I didn't make you exit here. I didn't close the road for you to keep going around. You chose to get off when you chose to get off. I didn't stop you. And the person that came all the way around, hey, I didn't stop you either. You didn't believe any of it. Come back. You came back all the way to the same way that you were just going away from. But it's the people that get lost and then just go, you know, way off the path. And then all of a sudden just decide, hey, this is the only road. Next thing you know, they're driving off a cliff, driving into a river, and take it so seriously that everyone else is wrong.
Yeah, and they'll battle with you about it. And they will,
Oh,
there's
yeah.
no other way. And if you don't believe it, even if you have questions, see, this is what I hate about majority is if you have questions about it, I'm like, okay, well, let's talk about it. You know, because I try to educate myself and stuff. So I'm like, let's talk about it. And they can never, ever, like, come up with anything good or be like, I'm like, hey, this is what I'm thinking. What do you got to say? Maybe not never, ever, but most of the time they don't have that many things to say because I'm like, this could be like, no, well, you're wrong because this is the right way. How do you know that? Like, how do you don't, nobody fucking knows. And maybe maybe what you're saying, bro. I love that analogy with the roundabout. Maybe no one's supposed to get on any religion. Maybe it's all fucking fake chow. And
maybe,
like, nobody knows, but maybe.
but hey, you got your free. I'm not going to stop you from taking this exit, but you took it.
Yeah.
And not saying that is an exit to your doom or you're wrong or anything, but maybe there's a road back to whatever. But at the same time, they're that's what coexistence is. And like you can believe this, you can believe this, you can believe this, and guess what? You're not necessarily wrong, but don't take it to a point of where you're trying to make me take that exit when I kind of know a better route.
Yeah.
And I believe it's a better route.
Yeah. And I'm good with it. And also what I love combating shit with is like if people are Christians or whatever, and like, oh well, you gotta follow the 10 Commandments and you gotta do this. I'm like, okay, well, if Jesus spoke in mainly metaphors, then who says these commandments aren't misinterpreted or they're not like guidelines or they're not, you know what I mean? They're not like some
Yeah.
sort of this shit. Like, you don't fucking know. Like, and who came up that said there's no anywhere that says
Oh,
fuck
no,
is a
Timbo,
bad
did we lose
word?
him?
Yeah, we lost him.
We lost him, huh?
For
Yeah.
I
me?
mean, that's a convincing face, though. He's
I
about
think
to.
God just smited
Wait.
him.
Brad got off his
Wait,
exit.
what? That sucks. Damn.
We
Oh,
can
wait, I hear you. I
frozen.
hear you.
Oh,
Oh,
there
that
you are.
sucks. That's
Oh,
stupid.
no, you're back.
Oh.
You're about to fucking hammer home with a chisel.
I thought you were gone, man.
Oh,
You
no.
got
Yeah, that was
smited.
weird. I heard you guys the whole time. That was weird.
I was like, oh, shit. Mark the exit because I don't want to take that.
Yeah, fucking, well, you can't fucking take me down, Dark Side. Come on.
Buddy, no challenge.
Buddy. Try me. But, you know, I'm, you know, I don't know where you guys heard or anything, but I guess I'll just repeat a little bit. But I was just saying,
Yeah, take two.
if Jesus spoke in mainly metaphors, right? And that's, and if you're Christian, whatever, and like 10 Commandments and these are the things to live by, then who says that the 10 Commandments aren't like a metaphor or a guideline? Like, if Jesus mainly spoke in metaphors because it's hard to, you know, transfer over, you know, we talk about like the telephone game, like things are going to get misinterpreted. But if you speak in metaphors, like nobody really knows, so they might say this way or that way. And Frozen. I don't know. Cool stuff. Wild stuff. Yeah, we love it. We're having some technical difficulties, folks.
I wish you could see the series of events. What I was saying, you came back to wild stuff.
Wild stuff.
I was like, Jesus, I'm sorry for using your name like that.
Oh, yeah, Ghostbusters.
You should probably, you know, maybe pray tonight. I don't know.
Listen, bro.
Because you're getting
And
struck
Hail
down.
Marys.
That's all right. Fucking Sparklight. Dweebs.
Yeah.
Listen.
You made a lot of good points in the background, though. Only you and the big man upstairs heard it, though.
Oh, yeah, he knows what's up. Trying to shut me
Oh, yeah,
down.
you talked some sense into him, didn't you?
Well, shit. You know, they say, when you're doing the right thing, the fucking devil's knocking on your door trying to take you down. So, you know, maybe I'm preaching some good shit.
Well, we're about to see you freeze again in a second, so don't you worry.
Keepers,
Does it
dude.
smell like dead flesh? Does it smell like a dead body, Brad?
Is there a
Definitely
library
not.
next to you? Is Lucia around?
Oh, fucking Erna.
Oh, no. Don't talk about the
Moderna.
Oh, you got the Moderna?
The
Fucking-
Moderna. That's, I know it's fake time, buddy.
That's how I know I can see the future. Fuck, it all makes sense.
I know, Moderna.
Forgot the Ma part.
I
Don't
know.
visit Alcatraz anytime soon, fellas.
Yeah.
Old Erna will get you.
Yeah, what do most of those like, you're talking about the 10 Commandments and just, you know, religious guidelines or whatever, you know, what do they all tell us? Basically, don't be an asshole.
Yeah.
Thou shalt not
Don't-
pass.
Yeah, don't fucking.
Enough.
Yeah, don't kill, don't fucking lie, don't cheat, you don't steal, don't whatever. And
Yeah, I think along the lines we've definitely taken some of those a little too seriously, and some people
yeah,
definitely take them too serious, and they just misconstrue maybe, you know, what the metaphors were. Or,
yeah,
I don't know. I mean, fuck. With Christianity, these were written from a guy that heard it from a burning bush. So
yeah, right. And you know there might be good guidelines and stuff, but you can't never do, you know, certain things or whatever. Like
Yeah.
even if it's like okay, don't kill. I mean, you got to kill an animal to eat and survive, or kill a living plant. Like, that's still a thing. Like, they're just probably like more of guideline stuff, is why I think, a lot of that stuff is what it is.
Don't be a shitty human being,
Yeah,
because
don't be a fucking asshole, and here's how.
That goes along with the moral compass stuff. When you, well, I don't know what you feel when you kill a person, because I never killed anybody, but I feel like unless if you're a fucking psychopath and full of evil, you probably feel pretty bad about that, and so that's
guilt, something. And and who came up with that? Fuck is a bad word. Nowhere ever, anywhere that says it's a bad word, or shit, or any of it. Cunt, doesn't matter. Nobody. It is us as humans or whatever. Like, no, you can't say that word. Says fucking who?
Yeah.
Says who? See, this is why, like, oh, well, you can't cuss around me. You can't cuss in church. Where in the fucking Bible or any religious thing ever that says I can't say fuck? Fuck. Lick my ass.
Fuck.
Yeah, lick my ass. Yeah, where does it say that I can't say that? Or that it's a bad word, or nowhere ever. Who knows? Jesus might be cussing the fuck out of shit. He'd be like, fuck this. Stupid ass shit. You dumb bitch. He might be going off on people, and people be like, oh, you can't say that. And Jesus is like, bullshit, you can't. You never fucking know.
Oh, man, I'm so misunderstood. I said, don't murder unless you have to. Yeah. Like, come on.
Right? Misinterpreted. You left out the most important part. I said an eye for an eye. You guys left that one out. Survival of the fittest.
Around me.
Yeah, man. Survival of the fittest, okay? Different times.
I think you're on to something.
Different strokes.
Well.
I
think you're not onto something. I don't think you're onto something anymore.
I'm onto something, bro. See? But
I think we should probably wrap it up.
Oh yeah,
Brad's hooting. Brad's hollering.
Oh yeah, I'll go off. But that was a good one. I liked it. I think everybody else is gonna enjoy this podcast, because even though it went from supernatural werewolves to ghosts to religion, maybe they'll tie together.
Who knows? Detour.
Yeah, you really got off on the had a boy. I was gonna say, what do you think? Exit 69, Brad? What's going on?
Oh, that's my favorite position. Jesus is true.
What exit is the armpit?
The armpit? Oh, that's exit number 1, buddy. You don't want to go to the pits of hell.
Oh man, it gets a little hairy down there.
Oh, that is my hell.
Yeah.
I just go to P's armpit.
Oh yeah.
Oh, this thing here, that's not even a mic. That's just my armpit hair.
Oh yeah, it gets a little sticky in that exit. A little sweaty.
Hey, it's clean though.
Allegedly, herpes in the. It's the thing. If you don't believe it, I mean, I'm telling you, the people BYUI might be good people, but there's some sick motherfuckers who go there.
Right? They're just finding those loopholes. It's
soaking
not. It doesn't say you can't fuck an armpit.
Oh yeah, it doesn't say that I can't put my dick in her and my roommate kick the bed underneath me until I come.
Oh yeah,
that's my loophole. I'm like, Jesus, you guys need to figure it out. Looking at me like I'm a bad dude. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah. First off, I've never fucked an armpit, you weirdo.
Yeah. Second of all, why is that crossing your mind?
Why is your buddy jumping on the bed? Does he know it's past fucking midnight? People are trying to sleep here.
Yeah, seriously. Does your buddy know he just made you come? Creep. Like weird shit goes on. And they're like super religious, all this, and
I don't want to get into it.
I don't want to get into it. Not that everyone's bad, but y'all motherfuckers need Jesus, all right? Figure it out. Jesus ain't fucking no armpits.
He's just saying fuck. He's cussing people out.
Yeah, he's cussing all that out. What do you mean you're kicking the fucking bed to make your roommate come? You creep. Who Who knows? He's probably looking down like these stupid dumbasses. Look at him kicking the
Bullshit.
bed, trying to find a
He's take-
loophole.
He's taking notes. Like, how hard do you have to jump?
Like, oh, shit. You should stay there.
Don't jump too hard now. He's got to last.
Lies aboard. There's aboard. Lies aboard. And then his roommate just comes rumbling, stumbling, bumbling.
Oh, yeah.
Jerome
And she's
Bettis.
disappointed because her armpit didn't come.
Oh yeah. Now she's in the dock and happy man.
Just a rash and antiperspirant.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You gotta get a special fucking pit stick for that. Goddamn.
Damn, lady, what was that? Bear glove? What were you wearing tonight?
Oh yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, maybe the girl's armpits made secret for a reason. Shh.
Oh yeah, strong enough for a man though.
Oh yeah. Oh, yeah. Secret. Keep her
Just a little hidden
fucking
message.
in. Yeah. Fuck. On that note, we might have to wrap her up before we make too many dark humor jokes and people get offended. Fuck yourselves.
Wrap it up before you fuck the wrong armpit.
Just wrap it up when you fuck the armpit.
Tell your buddy to get off the bed and go to bed.
Oh yeah.
Jumping around making you come and shit. Hey, we're trying to fuck here. Good jumping on the bed.
We're trying to soak here. You're making me come.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just docking. Leave me alone.
I knew you shouldn't have the bottom bunk. God damn it.
God damn it. Cool prank.
You think it's funny making me come everywhere?
Yeah, chill out, Kyle.
Oh, what a whore, though.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean, what kind of nasty bitch comes over and is like, with a little skirt on her arm?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Really painting the picture.
Yeah. Back in our day, you know, girl went skiing. We're like, ah.
Just drops her skirt.
Oh, yeah.
Ew.
Oh, yeah.
God, you're gonna want to sit still tonight. I don't want to come too quick.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Jesus. Jesus.
Well, Jesus had nothing to do with the buddies.
Oh, no.
Castles.
Oh, yeah. He's rooting against this fucking tactic. Comes in, rips off her sleeves.
Oh, you whore.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Party tonight, boys.
Oh, yeah. I see you shaved.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes.
We want righty tighty or lefty loosey.
Well, is it a special night? You flip around.
Oh, yeah. I want to hit this pit from the back.
Oh, my goodness. Kyle, did you got something to do tonight?
Yeah. Oh,
Be
yeah.
my wingman.
Oh, yeah.
The fucking chicken wing, man. Always had your back for the pit.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Back in
Can you
our
imagine
day, you know, girls went skiing. Now they're fucking pitting around.
Oh, yeah. Oh, nasties. Can you imagine just later on in life, like, hey, Kyle, remember that night? Oh, yeah. I was jumping on that bottom bunk like a trampoline. I heard you squeal.
Oh, yeah. I wish you could have seen your old face, buddy. I stuck on the bottom.
Can you believe I didn't even marry her? What?
Oh, oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
She's going to have to explain that to her husband.
Yeah, but I didn't break any rules, so we're good.
Oh,
Pit
no,
was
we're
just too loose.
good.
Oh, yeah. Started chafing. You know.
Oh, babe, I've always had loose pits. What are you talking about?
Oh,
No,
yeah.
that's fine. That's normal.
It's so fucked up, bro. People trying to find loopholes and make no, it's fine.
It's always been there.
Yeah, it's fine. See, no.
Oh, that bump?
Oh, that
Me.
nah. I'm just not supposed to fucking pussy. Your armpit's fine. We said anything about that. Fine. No one ever said I couldn't put it in there. I just can't move around. But if my roommate does it, it's all good. You weird fucks. Figure
Some
it out.
real good friends. Real
Figure it
good
out,
friends.
guys. Yeah.
Oh, best buds.
I can't
Meanwhile,
wait till
Kyle,
one of
like
them
you're
listen to
petting.
this, bro. And Kyle's into there like, man, these guys make a lot of sense. I'm making my roommate come every time. His fucking
Kyle's
light
texting
bulb
his buddy.
Yeah.
Who the fuck you been telling about this, man?
Yeah, man.
I
Hey,
jumped in confidence.
Yeah. Like, hey, buddy, I didn't mean to make you come all those times. I just realized. And then his buddy realized. You never know. Hopefully the fucking light bulb turns on for these stupid fucks.
Lucky for you, Kyle. I'm a lady now.
Oh yeah. Shave your pits. Wear some deodorant. Quit fucking perspiring to lube up your buddies.
Churches these days. They're teaching everything wrong.
Oh yeah.
Such a fucking
Oh
weirdo.
yeah. They fucking guilt trip you so much. Like, well, I mean, this isn't technically breaking the rules, so we're fine, guys.
Where did I go wrong?
Yeah,
Fucking
man.
armpits.
Yeah, man. I've never seen a rash like that in a pit. That's weird.
She comes in just like double arm bar. Ah.
Oh,
Both
yeah.
pits are so bad. It was a rough night at the BYU campus.
Oh yeah. Jesus. She said she can't walk anymore. She can't raise her. She can't put her arms down.
It was a double float. I don't know what happened.
Oh, yeah. Quite the orgy sesh. My pits are beat.
Her mom's like, I understand. We gotta go in.
Oh, Jesus.
Her mom's the tip of the cap.
Oh yeah. Good work, gal.
You think these pits are innocent?
Oh yeah. Yeah, you've seen a dig or two.
Oh, yeah.
Oh man, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, what a slut.
Yeah, clean up aisle 1.
She just comes, I'm stuck. I don't know what happened. I woke up this way.
It's like pink eye where your eyes shift so jet, but it's your pit.
Just wakes up. Feels the part.
Just hearing
Oh.
the sound effects.
Oh yeah, the fucking Band-Aid effect. Oh. Just ripping out your
You're-
fucking pit hairs.
When you're a kid and you glue your fingers shut. Just fucking-
God.
Oh, yeah.
just peeling it.
No, it's fine. It's totally worth it. Oh, you guys see that? I made him come so fast.
It wasn't you, it was Kyle.
Yeah, Kyle fucking started kicking the bed. He didn't do anything.
I didn't make him come. Kyle made him come.
Kyle's the wingman of the year.
Yeah, fucking Kyle.
Fucking Kyle. I think I'm gonna go fucking Kyle, my wife.
Well,
Yeah, give her the
yeah,
old armpit action.
yeah.
Oh yeah. She's been tuned in.
Yeah.
She's like,
You see her freshly shaved.
Waving
maybe,
you down.
maybe.
You see these? Yeah, man, tight as ever, baby.
In your dreams, go to bed.
Oh yeah, oh, yeah. Seriously.
I'm an adult.
Yeah. Yeah.
You missed your chance.
Oh yeah. Like offering somebody a hand job. Get out of here.
Oh yeah. Well, how much you got?
Yeah, use your mouth or scoot.
Oh yeah, lick it or stick it.
Yeah, yeah. I can jerk it way better than you, scoot lady.
Step aside.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Just give her the. What are you doing,
Yeah, come on. All
Come on.
wrong.
Kyle?
Yeah, Kyle, where you at? All right, just hold your hand there, kick the couch.
I learned a technique.
Oh yeah, rumbling. My buddy Kyle was telling me.
Here's your buddy. Speaking of Kyle's.
All right. We gotta end this podcast for
He's
fucking Roni makes too many more
about to
appearances.
fucking blow. That tip of the barrel's coming to you, buddy.
Oh man. That guy's fucking
Jesus
smooches,
Christ.
buddy.
Don't worry, that's just a raisin.
I actually took those pictures. That's amazing.
Oh,
You
my
took these pictures?
No, he took her. Somebody took.
Oh,
them.
They
He posed for
they
them,
sent
but-
them, bro. Yeah, I know. Well,
I was like, holy shit, Tim, would you jump on the bottom bunk for him too?
yeah, man. It's fine, bro. It was in the airport, not on the plane.
Not gay. Kyle was jumping around.
Yeah, man. See, we're just cheers and just a light one. It's fine.
Then we smooched a little.
Smooth, it's fine. It doesn't mean anything.
I tried stopping him.
Yeah, it's like a handshake, or a high five.
What are you gonna fucking decline?
Wait, what?
Hold up, we'll grab my.
All right, man, make it quick. We're about to end this podcast. It's too weird.
This
Already
podcast is still going?
Oh, fuck yes, they're going to have to get our dark humor in here.
No, shut her down.
Oh, yeah. Well, cheers to that. Shutting her down. Dark humor
Yeah,
for days. Cheers to
Cheers
that.
to shutting it down. What the fuck are we doing? This isn't me.
All right,
Okay,
Gaber.
everyone have
Till next time.
Yeah.
If you listen to this.
Someone
far.
else. In
Bingo.
theory, someone else was jumping on the bottom bunk.
Yeah, you're welcome. Moral compass.
You're welcome. I'm at the top bunk, just
Oh, yeah.
fucking taking in all the riches.
All right, everybody. Good night, podcast.